Okay, in our first free HubSpot course, we already explained how contact work, how deal works, how you can be able to use HubSpot as a beginner. In that course, we went deep dive into how to actually use HubSpot for your business as a beginner. I also mentioned that we are going to be taking you through the advanced series of HubSpot. Now, here is the advanced series. Now, you might be asking, beyond all of this fundamental level of HubSpot, what else can be done in HubSpot? There are a lot more that can be done in HubSpot, and that is what we are going to be seeing in today's video. We'll be seeing how to create campaigns in HubSpot, how to set up email sequence. We'll also see how to set up workflows and automation, and we'll also see how to set up reports and dashboards. And we'll also see how to use Breeze AI inside of HubSpot. We're going to look at goals and forecasting for your business so you can be able to set different goals, different revenue goals, different contact goals, different deal goals for your business, and how you can be able to structure and use forecasting for your business also. So this is going to be a very detailed tutorial, and I will actually advise that you follow through to the end. And also, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, also like this video, and also share with everyone who you think is going to need this video. Do not forget to download your CRM framework guide. The link is in the description below. And also, if you need help, you can book a free discovery call with us where we can be able to look at your business and we can be able to discuss your goals and what you are trying to achieve for your business inside of HubSpot. And we're going to set up HubSpot to the maximum level for you. The link is also in the description below where you can also book your free discovery call. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Okay, so for those of you that are actually new to this channel, we have created a comprehensive video, HubSpot video, where we are going to be learning about the fundamentals, how the contact works inside of HubSpot, how the companies work inside of HubSpot, how deal move through pipeline is inside of HubSpot, how to send emails, how to create activities and tasks, how to set up chat flows and chat boards, how to create forms and embed it on our website. So if you are new to this channel, it is possible that you have not seen that video. I will actually advise that you go ahead first to watch that video before you come back into this place to watch this video. And that is because that first video actually, we were able to go deep dive into the fundamentals of HubSpot, how the contacts work inside of HubSpot, how the companies work inside of HubSpot, how to be able to create chatbots and chat flows, how to bring leads inside of your organization, how to bring leads inside of your HubSpot account, and every other thing that you can find in the fundamentals of HubSpot. So that video is about, I think, more than 4 hours, and we went deep dive into HubSpot. And at the end of that video, I mentioned that I was going to teach the advanced series of HubSpot. So here we are. So in this video, we're going to be looking at some advanced features of HubSpot. And the reason why we are breaking this video into two is because we want you to understand the fundamentals first before you go ahead to start learning things like workflows, like email sequence, like lead scoring, like campaigns and all of those things. So we're going to be using a frictional business called Brightpath Consulting is the business we're going to be using in our HubSpot account, and we'll be seeing how we can be able to connect their social channels like LinkedIn, like Instagram, like Facebook. We are going to be seeing that. And also we are going to be seeing how we can be able to create a real marketing campaign inside of HubSpot. We are also going to be seeing how we can be able to create workflows and automation, and how we can be able to use Breeze AI to create this automation, and also how we can be able to create reports and use reports inside of HubSpot. So I will actually advise you watch that first video first before you come over to this video to watch this one. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so before we get started, there is something I actually need to mention, and that is that some of the things I'm going to be doing inside of this video is going to be inside the professional marketing professional hub for HubSpot. So if you're using the free plan or if you're using the starter plan, it is possible that you might not have some features that I'm going to be using. And that is because most of these features are found in the professional plan or the sales enterprise plan. So if you want to use campaigns, for instance, you need to upgrade to the marketing hub professional. If you want to use sequence, you need to upgrade to the sales professional also. And if you want to use workflow, you also need to upgrade to the marketing professional for HubSpot. So some of these features I'm going to be using, you might not be able to have access to it unless you upgrade. Now, the first thing I'm going to be talking about in this tutorial or in this advanced series is is campaigns. And I know that most of us actually do not understand how campaigns work inside of HubSpot. And that is because the idea we have about campaigns, maybe from other apps or from other platforms, is different from the way HubSpot actually operates. So campaigns inside of HubSpot is not us sending an email. It is actually far bigger than that. In some apps or in some platforms, when they talk about campaigns, they're talking about something like newsletter, they're talking about sending emails out, maybe marketing emails or product launch emails and all of those campaigns. But in HubSpot, it is actually much more deeper than that. Okay, so imagine our frictional business, which is Brightpath. Imagine they want to launch a product, for instance. Maybe they want to launch a product called Business Growth Blueprint. And now, if they want to launch this product, obviously they are going to create landing page for this particular product, or they can add it to their website pages. And also they need to create forms where people can be able to sign up for the wait list, or people can be able to sign up for the products, and then need to run ads for this particular product. And also when they run the ads, they need to send marketing emails for people to know that they are launching a new product called Business Growth Blueprint. And after that, then they can go ahead to maybe create blog posts, publish different content for them to be able to promote this particular new product that they are launching inside of their business. So the accumulation of all of these processes make up campaign inside of HubSpot CRM. So we are saying that we want to be able to know what exactly happened after we have been able to do all of this series of all of these things for this particular product launch inside of HubSpot CRM. So when we sent the email, what was the engagement? How many people came in through the form? How many people signed up for the wait list? How many people came in through the landing page? Campaigns just allows us to be able to see this series of events or this series of assets in one particular place. So to create a campaign, you are going to come over to marketing and you are going to come to create campaign. But it is actually very important you understand how campaigns work inside of HubSpot. So when you are able to accumulate all of this series of events for this particular product launch, we can now be able to look at the product launch as a whole, because we are looking at all of these assets that are actually working towards this particular product launch we are doing. So to create a campaign, you are going to go into marketing, and when you go to marketing, you're going to click on campaign. And when you click on campaign, as you can see, you can be able to create a new campaign inside of this place. And now when you click on create campaign here, you can see where you can be able to start from scratch, or you can also decide to start from a template if you want. Now, when you start from a template and you click on next, it is going to take you to the next place where you can be able to see series of templates that HubSpot actually have inside of their CRM. As you can see, they have a lot. You can be able to see the abandoned cart campaign. You can see the email drip campaign. If you have internal newsletter, you can create a campaign for that. We also have lead generation campaign, where you can be able to create campaigns where you want to be able to get leads from multiple channels, maybe from your ads, from your forms, from ads, from your social media pages. We also have the nurture campaign, we have the onboarding and welcome, we have the product launch, we have the re-engagement campaign, and a lot more. Now, because we want to launch a product for Brightpath Consulting, we are going to be using the product launch. And even if you select any one of these, let's say you want to use lead generation campaign, you can first preview the campaign to see how it is going to look like. And now, as you can see, for this lead generation campaign, we have the asset type, and we can see all of the steps that have been included inside of this campaign. Like I said, a campaign inside of HubSpot is not just sending out emails. It is accumulation of different assets that are currently geared towards a particular thing you're working towards, to maybe the product launch, maybe the newsletter. So you can be able to combine the different assets that you have created for this product launch inside of one place, and you can be able to see the reporting of all of these assets in one particular place. And as you can see over here, they said lead generation campaign, we created a lead generation form first, then we actually built a landing page, then after that we created an automated follow-up email that is going to follow up with them when they sign up to our form or our landing page. And we also have a workflow that is going to automate all of these emails, and we also have social media posts that is going to help us boost our landing page. And you can see also that we have social media posts with an ad. So if you decide to use this template, you can write in the name, You can also add in a campaign color if you want. Now you can add in a campaign owner, whoever is the owner of this campaign inside of your organization, especially if you have multi users, like you have more than one users inside of your organization. You can be able to select that. You can also write in the campaign start date. That means we are saying that when are we starting this campaign. So today is the 15th of August. We can say we want to start this campaign by 18th of August, and the end date is going to be by the end of November. So we can say, the end of October. So we can say October 31st, 2026 is when we're going to be ending this campaign. And you can also see the campaign audience here, where you can be able to write who exactly are we building this campaign for. So you can say we are building this campaign for the new leads that are coming in inside of our organization. You can also add in a campaign note if you want. So you can also click on create when you are done with that. And when you click on create, it is going to create your campaign inside of HubSpot. And as you can see, campaign actually allows us to be able to add multiple assets that is actually working towards a particular target. Now our target is lead generation. It is possible that your target is product launch or whatever it is, and you just name that inside of this place. So we are trying to generate leads, and we are trying to use different avenues, or we are trying to use different assets to generate these leads, and not just generate these leads alone. We are also trying to be able to create automated emails to be able to follow up with them when the leads are actually generated. So as you can see over here, we have different asset types that we can be able to add inside of our HubSpot account. We can be able to add blog posts, we can be able to add ad group, or a case study, or even a call. We can also add contact segments, we can add CTAs, and we can also see the CTA, the legacy one, the legacy editor. We can also see the different documents we can add. We have external website page, we have feedback survey, we have file, we have forms, and all of this can be added into your campaign. So number one thing you need to do is that you need to understand what you're trying to work towards. Look at the end part, or look at the goal you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to generate leads? Are you trying to increase your revenue? Or are you trying to launch a product? Or are you trying to make sure to create newsletter, and you want to be able to allow people to sign up to your newsletter and send newsletter inside of HubSpot? You can also create a campaign for that. Before we add any single asset inside of our campaign, we need to make sure to define what success actually look like for the campaign. So is it to generate revenue? Do you want to generate $500,000 by the end of this campaign? Or do you want to generate 100,000 leads by the end of this campaign? Or do you want to be able to have more than 10,000 leads on your pipeline by the end of this campaign? So when you define that, you can now be able to build assets that are going to support your particular end goal inside of HubSpot. So what you are going to do is that the most basic thing that we have inside of this lead generation is the form. We have a lead generation form, and you can create that form. Now, the thing you need to do first is that when you set up your campaign, you need to go ahead to start building out this asset one by one. Because you created this campaign, the asset is not going to be built automatically for you. You need to be able to create those assets first, then you can be able to add them inside of the campaign. So for instance, we have the form, which is the first step on our campaign, and we have a form where we have the contact us form, because we are trying to generate leads inside of our organization. When people fill out this contact us form, then they can then move to our landing page. Our landing page is maybe talking about our business, what we do, and people can be able to see the different things that we do. Now, when you've added in all of the assets you want to add for this, you can click on this checkbox here, and that is going to check that means this particular form step has been completed. You can also see inside of this place where we have build landing page, and maybe when they fill out our form, we want them to be able to go to our CRM instructors page, and they can be able to land on this page when they fill out the form. Or you can even say that the landing page, the form is embedded on the landing page. So when people visit this form, when people visit this landing page, they are seeing the form and they can be able to fill out the form. You can also say that you want to be able to set up a marketing email. When they fill out the form, the next thing you want to send is a marketing email to reach out to them for us to be able to know, for them to be able to know more about us, or to welcome them into our community or our organization, whatever it is you want. Now, before you do the automated email, you need to complete the landing page first. And also, if you have multiple landing page that you want to use for this campaign, all you need to do is to come over here and to look for landing page. Then we can also be able to drag and drop inside of this place. So wait for it to turn blue before you drop that. As you can see, it is blue. Then you drop that in, and that is going to be another landing page step. So you cannot be able to add multiple assets for one of these. You need to drag and drop each of them. So you are going to click on here, and you're going to click on add assets. And when you click on add assets, you can also select the particular landing page you want to use. That is if you have multiple landing pages that are actually working towards lead generation. Now, because we only have one landing page working towards lead generation, we are going to delete this. And when I delete this, it's going to delete the step that I just added in. And as you can see, for the marketing email, we can turn this on and say, okay, this step is actually completed, and we want to move to the next one. Now, the next one is the marketing email. And we can say that we've created the marketing email for us to be able to promote, our services, or for us to be able to welcome them into our organization, or for them to be able to know a little bit more about us. So when we click on add assets for the marketing email, it is going to allow you to be able to add the different emails that you've created. If you do not know how to create emails, and you do not know how to set up A and B split testing emails inside of HubSpot, we have this video here that is going to help you to be able to understand how to create emails and how to also use emails inside of HubSpot. Remember that we have different kind of emails. We have the regular emails, we have the automated emails. The automated emails are the ones that are going to be used inside of automation. So I do not want you to confuse that. So when you pick the marketing emails you want to use for this particular campaign, as you can see, that has been added inside of this place. Now, if I try to add an asset in here, as you can see, it is taking me back to this welcome email, and I can be able to add or change this particular email. Now, if I have multiple emails I want to be able to bring in, I am going to look for marketing email inside of this place, and I am going to bring that inside of my campaign. When you drag it in inside of this place, make sure it turns blue. If it is not turning blue, it is not going to bring that in. So you drop that in, and as you can see, marketing email has been created. Now, if you do not see the marketing emails you want to use for this campaign, you can also go ahead to create a new campaign inside of your HubSpot account. And when you create that email, you can create a new email inside of your HubSpot account. Then you can associate that email to your campaign. So that is why I said it is advisable for you to create your campaign first. Then you go ahead to create each of these assets, and you can be able to add them inside of this place. So we can say we want to add another asset here, and we want to use the second email inside of this place. That is going to bring our second email for this particular campaign. You can also add workflows. So remember to check this step to mark it as complete when you're done. You can also mark this as complete when you're done also. So if you click on this edit step, you can add in the step name. You can change the step name if you want. You can also add in a description if you want. And as you can see, we have the step type inside of this place. Now, because we cannot be able to change this because we've already set it as marketing email. Okay, so that is for that. If I go back and I click on my workflow here, and I click on use a workflow to automate my email. Now I want to be able to automate my email when people actually come in inside of the organization. I want to say an email workflow has been created where we are going to be sending series of emails to the leads that we have generated inside of our organization. Now, to do this, you are going to click on add assets inside of this place, and when you click on add assets, it is going to allow you to be able to pick the particular workflow you want to associate with this campaign. So we can say that we want to use our welcome series. Because this is a lead generation, we want to use welcome series to be able to associate with this campaign. Now, when people start coming in inside of our organization through this form, and when they are added to this welcome series, we can be able to see the analytics of the people that are opening the emails, people that are clicking on the emails, or people that actually fulfill the criteria that we have already set inside of our workflow. So you can also see inside of this place, we can add a social media post, but my social media account is not yet connected, so there is nothing to pick. So I'm just going to delete this, and I'm going to click on delete. And after the workflow, if you have an ad campaign also, you can also do that, but I do not have ad also. inside of my HubSpot account, so there is nothing to select. So I'm also going to delete this. Now, if you see that you skipped anything, you can add also different things. You can add CTAs. If you want to add CTAs, you can just drag and drop that in, and you can be able to add a CTA step. So, like I said, you just need to make sure to understand what you are building for. Are you building for lead generation, or are you building for product launch, or are you building for newsletter, or are you even building for deals that you're trying to be able to manage your deals inside of your organization? Okay, so when I had my CTA step here, I can click on add assets inside of this list, and it's going to ask me to choose the particular city I want to use. I can add this CTA I have over here, and that is going to be added inside of my campaign. So I click on the check here. That means that step has been completed, and also my last step has also been completed. Like I said, you can add multiple things. You can add forms, you can even add files, you can add playbook. If you don't know how to create playbook inside of HubSpot, we have a video over here to teach you that. So if you want to drag in playbook, you can just drag that inside of this place, and that is going to add the playbook to your campaigns. So when you click on add assets also, you can be able to add your playbook. We have different playbook like lead qualification playbook, qualifications call scripts playbook. We have discovery call script playbook. So you can select whatever it is you want, and that is going to be added inside of your campaign. Now, before you save your campaign, make sure that all of the step has been completed. If there is no step that is completed, check in very well to see if all of them has been completed. As you can see, it is saying 6/7 is completed. That means there is one particular one I have not completed, which is my playbook. So I'm going to select that as completed. If I like this campaign, I can then decide to save as templates. Now, when I click on save as template, I can be able to create a template name, and I can just click on save, and that is going to save my templates for this particular campaign. That means I can be able to re-edit and use this template when I want to create a new campaign inside of HubSpot. So when you click on save and view over here, you are going to see where you can be able to see your campaign. You can see the campaign name, the campaign information. You can also see the campaign UTM for tracking. You can see the campaign start date, you can see the campaign end date. You can also see the budget you have actually allocated for this campaign. You can also see the series of assets that you have inside of this campaign, whether it is ad group, whether it is call to action, or whatever it is you have inside of your campaign. You can see that over here. You can also see the different actions you have. You can decide to ask Breeze AI to summarize this campaign for you, and Breeze AI is actually going to do that and summarize what exactly is going on in this campaign. You can also see the action in here where you can add different assets. You can add, whatever it is you want inside of this page. You can say you want to add CTAs, you want to add WhatsApp messages, you want to add contact segments. Maybe you've created some segments and you want to be able to add them to this campaign. You just click on add and you click on save. You can add in automations, you can add in all of this, and you can click on save, and that is going to save your campaign. As you can see, Breeze AI actually pulled some information about this campaign and it added it in our campaign summary. So we have this campaign summary. It's an ongoing campaign created by Emma Glory, owned by Emma Glory, with a reporting period of August 15th to it was created August 15th, and it is to run from August 18th to October 31st. And as you can see, you can be able to see the summary inside of this place. You can also add a campaign goal if you want. Now, if you want to create a campaign goal, you can say what exactly are we trying to achieve with this campaign. Now, since this is a lead generation campaign, we are going to say that we want to be able to add a goal. And when you click on add a goal, you can be able to see the different goals you can add for your campaign. So you can see all of the templates that they have inside of this place. You can pick the particular goal that you want. Because our goal is to generate leads, we are going to be using this, which is to generate leads. So if you click on view detail, it is going to check in for the marketing, and it is going to check in for the count, and it's going to check in for the measure that is being used. Now, if you are using deal, you can say that you want to be able to generate, deals inside of the organization, or you want to generate number of deals, or you can say you want to generate revenue. You can say the purpose of this campaign is for us to be able to have closed one, to be able to have sales of $1 million by the end of the year. Or you want to say that you want to be able to generate $10,000 by the month of October. So whichever one you want, you can pick that. Because our goal is to generate leads, we are going to be using the generate leads. And when we click on close here, we can then be able to select this. Now this has been selected and I click on next. And as you can see here, I can add in my goal name. Now the goal name can also be called generate leads. So I'm just going to type that in. And as you can see, we have the start date and the end date. You can also change that if you want. So you can also say that you want to set this up for monthly, or you want to just have a single target for this particular campaign. Now, if this is a campaign that is going to take you 2 to 3 years, you can set a yearly goal. And you want to say that this campaign is just to make sure that we generate 100,000 leads every year. But since our campaign is just for 3 months, we can say we want to just generate a single action or a single frequency. We just want to generate 100,000 leads, not every month or not per year or anything. We just want to generate, by the end of this campaign, we just want to have 100,000 leads. So we are going to click on next, and when you click on next, as you can see inside of this place, it's asking us to choose our target. So since our target is 100,000, I'm just going to add, we want to be able to generate 100,000 contacts by the end of this campaign. And I'm going to click on done over here. And when I click on done, that has added the goal for my campaign. So you can be able to see in here that it is creating the goal, and it is also checking for the number, or it is also checking, you can also be able to see the achieved the things you've been able to achieve with this particular campaign. So you can also see your ROI to see the campaign spend, you can see your revenue, you can see the influence contact, you can see the contact life cycle, and all of this information. Now it is very important that you set your campaign to just define a particular thing at a particular time. If you want a campaign that you want to, if you want to create a campaign to check in to generate deals, I would advise that you create another one. Do not try to sum up multiple goals inside of a campaign. You need to create a campaign for a specific thing. So if you come to the attribution here, so the attribution just allows us to be able to see the different reports for this campaign. You can see the assets that is currently under this campaign. You can also see all the tasks that is actually associated with this campaign. If you have tags that you want to be able to create for this campaign, just click on create, and you can be able to add the tags details, and you can create and add another one if you want. So you can also see inside of this place where you can be able to create your budget campaign. You can create a spend item for any of the things that you are spending inside of this campaign. It is going to allow you have an idea of how much you've budgeted for the campaign and how much you are spending. So the budgeted item just allows us to be able to create, different things that, or different items that we've budgeted for. So we can say we want to be able to set up ads, and we want to be able to budget for those ads, and we're saying that we want to spend $10,000 on ads. Or you can say that you want to create marketing emails and you want to pay someone to do that, and you want to, so the payment for that can be added for the budget also. So you can just click on this and you can create, let's just say, campaign budget, and we can say that the all of the budget we want to use for this campaign, you can write that inside of this. You can write the description inside of this space also, and you can write the unit price. So you can say something like, we want to create, we want to use $10,000 for the whole of the campaign. Or you can say that for the marketing emails you want to use $10,000. You can save and add another one, and you can say something like, okay, for the ad spend, we want to use $10,000 also. So whatever assets you are creating that you know you are going to be spending money, you can create budgeted item. You can create budget item information for that. So when you start spending for your campaign and you start spending money, you can be able to also add a spend information. So for instance, you can say maybe you paid an HubSpot expert for this campaign to set up this campaign for you. You can add that description. You can add the date this expense was incurred, and then you can add the unit price for that. So you can say this is $5,000, and you click on save. You can be able to see the campaign spend at a particular date for each particular time inside of your HubSpot account. You can also see the activities. You can see who is updating this campaign. You can see what each of your users are doing to this campaign at different times. If anybody creates email for this particular campaign, you can also see those people creating that. So the campaign just allows us to be able to add, like I said, it allows us to be able to add different assets inside of one umbrella, inside of one particular task that we are trying to do. When you click on action in here, You can also summarize this. You can add assets, you can delete, you can customize your properties if you want. But the place that you'll be spending most of your time is the performance, because you want to be able to see how this campaign is doing over time, especially towards your goal that you've created. You want to see how your goal is being achieved, and you also want to see the ones that are remaining before your goal is achieved. You can see the revenue that is coming in, you can see your influence contact, you can see the website traffic that you have, you can see contact life cycle or contact life cycle cost. You can also see the marketing emails that you have that is connected. You can see the emails that are sent, you can see the people that opened and clicked on your email, you can see your form, you can see the number of people that are submitting this form. This is actually very important because we want to be able to track whatever is going on with all of the assets we have actually added inside of this campaign. So this is where you're going to see all of that. You can see playbooks, you can see the total logs, you can see the active users, you can see the total views, you can also see your CTAs, you can see the views, the clicks, and everything inside of this place. If you come back over here, as you can see, the campaign has been created. And if you create, for instance, if you set up marketing emails, you can also decide to add marketing emails directly to a campaign when you're creating them. So you just click on this welcome email, for instance, and you can see the details over here. When you click on see details, as you can see, lead generation has been added over inside of this place. You can see that this welcome email has been added inside of lead generation. The same thing applies for every of the assets. If it is forms you are creating, right from when you are creating the form, you can start adding them to the campaign, or you can just go over to campaign and just add them manually if you want. So that is for campaign, and that is how to use campaign inside of HubSpot. Okay, so at this particular point, I am going to mention that if you are not subscribed to this channel, you are actually making a very huge mistake. We actually have different CRM and email marketing courses for your business to elevate and move your business forward. I'm very sure you want to generate more revenue for your business, and the perfect way to be able to generate more revenue for your business is to be able to track the different processes inside of your business. And what is the better way for you to track the different processes in your business if not by using a CRM? And that is why we have different courses, we have different tutorials to make sure that you as a business owner actually take charge of your CRM and maximize the use of your CRM. If you are paying for HubSpot, whether professional plan, whether enterprise plan, we want to make sure that you are using HubSpot to the maximum level. And that is why we are available for you. If you need help in setting up your HubSpot account, you can book your free discovery call. The link is in the description below. And also subscribe to this channel. Okay, so let's continue. Now that we've seen how to set up campaigns inside of HubSpot, let's also see how we can set up CTAs inside of HubSpot. Now, CTAs just allows us to be able to create different call to action from the name CTA. CTA means call to action, and you can be able to create different call to action where you can be able to embed on your landing page, on your website, on your blog posts. You can be able to embed it anywhere you want, and this just allows people to be able to whether book a meeting with you or fill out a form, or they can be able to maybe subscribe to your newsletter or whatever it is you want to use for your CTA. As you can see, they have different options they have inside of this place. You can create different type of CTA inside of your HubSpot account. As you can see, they have amazing templates that you can be able to pick from. If you are doing a Christmas sale, you can create a CTA for that. If you are doing if you are creating PDFs that you want people to download, you can also create CTAs for that. Even your meeting pop-up, you can create CTA for that. So if you choose these templates and you go over to the next place, you can be able to select a particular meeting inside of your HubSpot account, and this CTA can be embedded on your form, on your landing page, on your website, and people can be able to book a call using the CTA. So you can just be able to insert that inside of these places, and people can be able to book call. So you can use this as a pop-up form, and you can also see the targeting settings here. You can ask the pop-up to come up on your landing page. You can also decide to make it trigger on page scroll. You can say 50% of the page scroll. That means if they scroll down your page at 50%, the pop-up is going to come on. You can also decide that you want to trigger this particular pop-up when they're trying to exit your website or when they're trying to leave your website. You can also decide that, you know what, trigger this pop-up when they've spent 7 seconds on your website, or when they've spent 10 seconds on your website, or how many seconds you want to, whichever seconds you want to use. You can also decide to trigger after inactivity, And you can say that if they do not do anything for 5 seconds on your website, you want to trigger that pop-up. And you can also decide where exactly is this pop-up going to be shown. Now you can say that you want to use a website URL, and you just click on ease and you can be able to add your particular site. Now before you add your site, you want to make sure that you actually add tracking code of your tracking code on your website before you use that particular site, because when you add that tracking code, HubSpot is going to be able to track that website, and they can be able to embed this pop-up form on your website. So when you add your website, for instance, our website is CRM instructors, you can add that. But if you are using HubSpot pages, HubSpot URL pages, but if you are using HubSpot website pages, that means you built your website inside of HubSpot, you can be able to say the website URL is all pages. That means you are saying that all of the pages you've built inside of HubSpot, you want to be able to use that. Or you can also say it contains a particular thing, or you can say it begin with whatever it is you want to use, but we want to use all pages for because we have websites built inside of HubSpot. Now, if you don't know how to build websites inside of HubSpot, you can check this video over here. I explain in details how to actually build websites inside of HubSpot. So you can also see that who are we going to be showing this particular pop-up to? If you do not want to show to all of the visitors coming inside of your organization, because you don't want too much people to be able to, you don't want too many unqualified leads to be able to book your call, you can say that you want to filter out and you only want to show to some people that are from a particular country. You can say you want to show to people that are from US, or people that are from Australia, or people that are from India or from Canada. You can be able to select that. So that means if there's anyone that is coming to your page outside of these countries that you've selected, they will not be able to see that pop-up on their end. You can also say that you want to be able to send this pop-up to everyone with a device type, maybe only on desktop. You don't want people on mobile to be able to see this pop-up. You can also do that. So you can use all of this if you want, but because we want to be able to show to all visitors, we are going to be using all visitors. You can also choose the frequency your CTA is going to be appearing for each contact. So for instance, we can say that if we show this CTA today, it should wait for 2 weeks before it actually showed the CTA again. Before it actually showed the CTA again. So that means if they see my CTA today, they are not going to see the pop-up form until 2 weeks after. You can also say that you want it to repeat every time. You can also say that do not show again after you've showed the CTA once and they've seen it once. So if you want to use that, you can use do not show again. And if you want to use repeat, you can repeat every time. But also note that if you are showing to repeat every time, you're saying that anytime they come into your website page, they are going to be seeing the CTA, and that can be very annoying actually. So if you do not want that, you can take that off. You can also see your options in here where we can be able to add to different campaigns that we've created. Like I said, in my campaign section, you can be able to add from this place also. So we are adding this CTA for our product launch, and you can be able to add that. And you can also track through redirect, or you can track through the browser if you want. You can also schedule this to publish later if you want. If you do not want this pop-up form to if you don't want this pop-up form to happen now, you can schedule it, and you can say that okay, we have an event next month, and we want to be able to allow people to book a call for that event, and they can be able to book that call. You can also write in the time you want this campaign to be published. And if you do not want to publish this, if you want to unpublish this pop-up form, you can also say that after we are done with our event, we want to unpublish this particular CTA. So we can say that by the end of November, which is November 30, by this particular time, we want to unpublish this particular CTA, and that is going to unpublish your CTA. And when you are done, you click on save, and that is going to save, and you can look through all of the settings again, and you can click on publish now. And as you can see, it is saying that we are showing on all pages, and we are also showing to all visitors. Make sure that is what you want to do. Now when you are done, you click on OK, and that is going to publish your page. So if I decide to go into any of my website pages that I currently have inside of HubSpot, oh, it is scheduled, and as you can see, it is actually scheduled. So I want to publish it now, so I can show you how to how it actually works. So if I go back to options, I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to click on review and update, and I'm going to click on update now, and I'm going to click on OK, and that is going to update, and my 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 CTA is now published. As you can see, it moved from scheduled to published. Now, if I go to content and I go to my website pages inside of HubSpot, I can be able to select this page inside of this place. And this is my landing page. It's ugly actually. It's just for sample sake. So this is the landing, sorry, this is the website page. So I want to get the link. So this is the link. I'm going to copy this URL. And when I get into this place, I can be able to see my landing page. Now, if I scroll a bit, my pop-up should actually come up. As you can see, this is my pop-up form that I just created. This is my CTA pop-up that I just created inside of HubSpot. You can do this for if you have a freebie and you want people to be able to download your freebie inside of HubSpot. You can set it up the same way, but instead of using meetings, you are going to be using form and a button. You can select whichever template that you have inside of HubSpot and you can be able to move on with that. So that is how to set up CTAs and how to use CTAs inside of your HubSpot account. Okay, so now that we've seen how to set up CTAs inside of HubSpot, the next thing we want to see is how to connect our social media account. Now, to connect our social media account, you can see inside of this place, you are going to go into marketing. And when you go to marketing, you are going to click on social. And when you click on social, it is going to take you to this place where you can be able to connect your social media account. One thing I do love about HubSpot is that they want you to have everything inside of one place. So they want you to be able to have your website inside of one place. They want you to be able to have, they want you to be able to have social media. You can even set up social media posts inside of this place. And I believe that is one of the greatest advantage of HubSpot. Having every of the thing about your business inside of one place is a big blessing that HubSpot has actually given to us. So we can be able to connect different accounts. And when you connect your account, you can plan your content. You can schedule and publish your content across various networks, across LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and so much more. You can also view and manage all of the posts you are going to be posting inside of HubSpot. You can post from HubSpot. You can see your analytics from HubSpot. You can schedule posts from HubSpot. So instead of you getting all of these scheduling apps, you can use HubSpot to schedule your emails. Schedule your social media posts. And I believe that is very great. If I'm trying to connect Facebook, for instance, and I select Facebook inside of this place, and it is going to ask me to give access to HubSpot. Now, when I click on continue, I can also be able to choose what I'm going to allow HubSpot to have access to. Now, when I click on continue, it is going to list out the accounts that I have. As you can see, we have my page inside of this place. We have my Facebook pages, which is for the business page, and we also have my Instagram. Because Facebook is connected to Instagram, you can be able to connect both of them inside of your HubSpot account. Now, when you click on connect, as you can see, it is already connecting that, and you can click on continue, and you can also see that has actually connected my Facebook and my Instagram page inside of my HubSpot account. When I decide to click on create post, I can see and I can be able to select my Instagram and my Facebook account inside of this place, and that is because both of them has been connected inside of HubSpot. Now, the next one I want to see is how to connect YouTube. You can actually connect YouTube also. I know, right? It's so good. So when you click on new account inside of this place, you can also decide to connect your LinkedIn account. You can connect YouTube. You can connect X, which is also Twitter. You can connect TikTok. But I want to connect LinkedIn. Let's see if I can be able to connect LinkedIn. No. So I'm going to authorize HubSpot to have access to my LinkedIn, and I'm going to click on allow. When I click on allow, HubSpot is going to have access to my LinkedIn, and it's going to ask me to choose the page I want to connect. I want to connect my own page and the business page, and I click on connect inside of this place, and that is going to connect these pages inside of HubSpot. Now, when I click on continue inside of this place, as you can see, we have Facebook connected, we have Instagram connected, we also have LinkedIn connected inside of this place. Now, when I click on create post also, I can now be able to select and I can be able to choose LinkedIn also. So even if you want to schedule a post inside of HubSpot, you can be able to select all of your accounts and you can be able to schedule and send emails out to all of your accounts at once. That is actually very amazing. We have some scheduling app for social media. instead of paying for that, you can have that inside of HubSpot. You can even see your analytics, you can see everything inside of HubSpot. I really think HubSpot really tried when it comes to the social media aspect, because it's very fascinating what you can be able to do inside of HubSpot. So when you click on this place here, you can be able to generate posts, you can create social posts, you can ask the AI to write some content for you. You can say maybe you can talk about what it is you want to generate, and the Breeze AI is going to generate that content for you. So you can write the caption you want to use. If you have any media you want to upload, you can upload that inside of this place. So let me just select a random post that I have. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste the post I want to use inside of this place. Remember that we are selecting all of this. We are selecting Facebook, we are selecting LinkedIn. You can also be able to select, the account you want to use inside of this place. If you want to include Instagram, you can also include that inside of this place, and you can select that. So you are going to write the caption you want to use for your post. Now, when you paste your caption in here, you can ask the AI to, generate a new one. You can also add in hashtag. You can ask the AI to create perfect hashtag for you. You can also ask the AI to set up a social media post if you want. And when you are done with all of this, as you can see in here, you have the limit for each of this. And as you can see over here, you are going to see how it is going to look like on each of your pages. You will see how it is going to look like on your Facebook post. You are going to see how it is going to look like on your LinkedIn post. You're also going to see how it is going to look like on Instagram. So this is my own LinkedIn. This is the company's LinkedIn. This is my own LinkedIn account also. So you're going to select media, and you're going to select whether you want to use video, or you want to use image. And when you select video, you can be able to select video from your HubSpot account. If you have any video you have brought in inside of this place, you can upload your videos. And when you click on upload video, you can also upload from your computer or from Google Drive. If you upload from your computer, you can select whatever video it is you want to use inside of your computer, inside of this place. So let's say I want to pick this particular video and I want to use this, and I'm going to click on open. And when I click on open, that is going to upload my video inside of HubSpot. Now my video is uploading. Let's just wait a bit for it to finish uploading. Okay, so my video has been uploaded, and I also advise you use a video that it is going to be compatible with all of these pages. So my video has been added to Facebook post, it has been added to LinkedIn post, it has also been added to this is also LinkedIn, my own LinkedIn, and it has also been added to Instagram. So you see how it is going to look like on your page. And when you are done, now for this post, we can decide that we want to schedule this post, and we do not want this post to go out immediately. So now when you click on schedule post, this you can decide to publish now, or you can decide to schedule your post. Remember that if you are publishing now, this post is going to go out into all of this channel at once. So you want to make sure you have done all of the settings you want to do, all of the copies you want to do before you schedule this post and before you send out this post. If you click on publish now, your post is going to be published. You can also see inside of this place to see how your video is going to look like on Facebook, see how it is going to look like on LinkedIn, also see how it's going to look like on LinkedIn, and also on Instagram. So when you see that everything has been set up properly, you can publish now, or you can schedule your post for later. When you click on schedule your post for later, you can schedule for a particular date. Now we do not want this post to go out today. We want it to go out, let's say today is 15th. We want it to go out next week Monday, which is 17th. Now we want it to go out 17th by 10 a.m., or you can pick whatever scheduling time you use for your social media post. Now when you pick the particular time, remember that you can also add to campaign. Like I said, we can be able to add different assets that we're creating. We can add them to campaign. So this particular social media post is for lead generation, because we are talking about how we can be able to bring people inside of our organization, and this is a lead generation post. So we're going to pick the campaign we want to use. You can also click on Facebook to see whether you want to make it a post or you want to add it to your story. You can also select that if you want. Now if you are using story, you are going to see that it is going to add a little bit of changes to your post. If you are using post, it is going to add your text. So you can also check for LinkedIn. You can also say you want to add in maybe the post type is media, or it is poll, or it is document. If you are using Instagram, you can say you want to add a post or a reel, or you want to use story on Instagram. So after you've done all of those settings, you are going to click on review and schedule over here. This is going to review your post, and you can be able to see all of the things that is being talked about for this video. It's saying that the attached video is wider than Instagram maximum width, so you can be able to view Instagram requirements first before you make your post. I am not able to because the video is not fitting for the particular maximum width for Instagram. It is not going to schedule my post, so that means I need to pick the particular video that is going to work for my Instagram maximum width. You can also change your campaign inside of this place and pick whatever campaign you want to use, and then when you are done, you click on schedule, and that is going to schedule for this particular date. So let me just take off Instagram so that I'm going to delete this post, and I'm going to click on review and schedule. And as you can see, I can now be able to schedule it because I took off Instagram. I can be able to schedule for Facebook and LinkedIn now. Now, when I click on schedule, this is going to schedule my post to go out at the particular date I have already appointed it to go out for. So it is going to go out on the 17th by 8 a.m. for each of these. You can create another post. You can schedule your post now. You can be able to do a lot of things. You can see your social post agent. So social post agent just allows you to be able to, generate some content with AI, and you can also see your reply in here to see people that are replying to your post, the direct messages from all accounts, or you can say you want to see only from Instagram, or you want to see only from LinkedIn. You can also see your analytics. Analytics allows you to be able to see the number of posts that is published. You can see the interaction. You can see the clicks that you have. You can see the people that are sharing your post, the impressions you're having on your post. So you can see the sections on the post. You can see the new contacts that are being generated from your post. You can also see the posts that are having most interactions, or the ones that are having the most shares, or the ones that are having the most clicks. So you can see all of your posts that you've created inside of this place. And when you see all of this posts, you can also be able to add this individual post to a campaign if you want. So for instance, this post, I want to add it to a campaign, and I'm just going to select lead generation. I'm going to click on save, and that is going to save my post. So that is how to connect your social media account, and that is how to create and schedule posts inside of HubSpot. Now, another thing we want to look at in this advanced series is lead scoring. Now, if you have different leads that are coming from different places, some are coming from your website, some are coming from your social media posts, some are coming from different places, your forms, some are coming from booking meetings and all of that. And now you want to be able to qualify these people. Now, one factual thing you need to know is that you are going to be prioritizing some leads more than the others, because you know that these leads are more likely to buy from you than the other leads they are generating. Now, lead scoring allows us to be able to prioritize these leads based on the different engagements that is being done for each of these contacts. So for instance, we can say if they open our email, we want to be able to prioritize them more. Or if they book a meeting, we want to be able to prioritize them more. Or we can even say if they actually go to any page of our website, we also want to prioritize them more. So the way we do this is by lead scoring. Lead scoring allows us to be able to know if they're actually a good fit and if they have the intent to buy from us. So we can be able to check in for maybe their company size, to be able to score them based on different criteria like their company size. We can also score based on the industry, based on their job role. The score you are going to give a manager is going to be different from the ones you are going to be giving the CEO, because you believe that the CEO should be prioritized more than the manager. Yeah, such is life. I just feel like you cannot be able to prioritize everyone, and that is why you have the lead scoring inside of your HubSpot account. Now, to set up lead scoring, you are going to go to marketing, and you are going to go to lead scoring. When you click on lead scoring, you are going to see inside of this place where you can be able to create your lead score for different things inside of HubSpot. You can also create lead score with AI, but as you can see, that is in the Marketing Hub Enterprise. Do you know how much Marketing Hub Enterprise is? It is $3,600 for every month. That's a fucking lot. So if you go over to this place, as you can see, we have the Marketing Hub Enterprise, and the Marketing Hub Enterprise is $3,600 every month. Now, if you know your business cannot be able to afford this, please do not start. Do not start it at all. So because we've seen a lot of clients or a lot of businesses come to us and they are using HubSpot Professional. Some are using HubSpot Marketing Professional, or some are using the enterprise plan part for the enterprise plan for the sales enterprise. And it gets to a point whereby HubSpot price just keep increasing. If you want to add in more contact, you increase your you increase your budget. If you want to use automation, you increase your budget. And it just, we've seen a lot of people come to us and they're just like, we need to migrate to another CRM because they cannot be able to handle the cost. And remember something I always say: if you cannot use your particular CRM in the next 5 years, do not buy it. Do not even start with it at all. So you want to make sure your business can be able to afford that in the next 5 years. Because trust me, migration to another CRM is hell. Is a whole lot of work, and you'll be surprised the amount of work that actually goes into that. If you're migrating from HubSpot to Go High Level, from HubSpot to Keep, from HubSpot to whatever CRM you want to migrate to, it takes a lot of effort. It's something we've seen over and over and over again, because you've had years of database, you've had years of contact, years of data inside of your HubSpot account, and migrating to another CRM can be a whole lot of work. So you want to make sure that you can be able to afford your CRM in the nearest future. Okay, so we are going to see over here, we are going to go back to lead scoring, and we're going to create a score. Now we can be able to score our contacts, or want to score our company, or want to score deals. Deals just allows us to be able to assign a deal score when they reach a particular stage, or when they fulfill a particular criteria, so that we can be able to prioritize some deals more than the others. Because to get to a point on your pipeline where you are going to be having thousands of deals, and it is very important that you know the people you want to be able to prioritize or not. So we are going to click on contact, and when you click on contact over here, so you can decide if you want to use the contact combined store score, or you want to use the contact engagement score. The contact engagement score allows us to be able to score different contacts based on the engagements and their behavior and their interaction. So you can be able to score contacts based on their interaction or based on their engagement. And you can say something like, oh, if they click on an email, if they click on a link on our email, we want to add 10 points. Or if they check our page on our website, we want to add 10 points. But for the combined score, it is going to be for different criteria, their engagement, their interaction, and you also have the fit score, where it is going to be based on different criteria like their demographic and everything. But I like the combined score actually, because it allows us to be able to see the particular score for everything for each of the contacts. You can also create for companies, you can create for deals. Even most people actually prioritize deal score more than contact score, because they want to be able to know the deals that they need to pursue and the deals that they need to work with at a particular time. So we are going to be using contacts for this tutorial, and we're going to be using the contact score. And when you click on that, you can click on create. And now this is going to take you to the place where you can be able to build your score inside of this place. Now for this contact score, you can click on add events group, and when you click on add events group, it is going to add that, and you can say that you want to add an event criteria. So you can say something like, if they're coming from all of these, you want to add a score. So if that, you are saying that if they are coming from a CTA, so you can say that if a CTA event happen, for instance, the CTA we just created, if they view the CTA, want to add a score, or if they click on the CTA, want to add a score, and you can be able to add the points you want to add. So you can say for this, you want to add 5 points, and you can also click on the advanced option here to add the time frame, to add the frequency. You can say that if they click on this CTA, if they are clicking on it maybe like 5 times, we want to add 10 points. Or if they're clicking on it 2 times, you want to add 10 points. Or you can say at least 6 times. You can say exactly as this, or you can say at least 6 times if you want. So that is for the advanced option. You can also add multiple events. You can say, for instance, if they come in through a form, you want to add a score. Let's say we have a form that we are prioritizing, not just your contact form. Maybe you have a CRM support form where you are asking multiple information, and anybody that fill out this form, you want to be able to add a score to them. So you can say that the form submission, maybe the main or the additional, and you can say that maybe you want to select a property, you want to say if they are from a country, you want to add that particular point. So we can say that, you know what, if they fill out our form and they are coming from or you can say, where is form? You can say the form name is any of, then you can search in the forms that you currently have. So if they fill out this meeting link form, and if they fill out the contact us form, we want to be able to score these people. Remember that they're just submissions. Now they fill out this form. You can also add in another condition, and you can say that if they're filling out this form and they're from a country, we want to be able to add a point to them. So we can say that if it is equal to any of, then you can be able to select a country if you want. You can say if they're coming from India, if they're coming from USA, if they're coming from Nigeria, if they're coming from Australia, you can add those values inside of this place. Now, when you're done with that, you can also add another condition, and you can say you want to check in for the content type, you want to check in for the device type. You can check in for whatever it is you want for the form. So that is for form. If you have another form criteria you want to add, you can also add that, and you can say we don't want to check for form submission now. We want to check off for our form pop-up view. That means if they view a pop-up form that we currently have, we also want to add in a point. So this should be 10 points, and the form pop-up view should also be 10 points. So that means if they view any of our pop-up form, you can also add advanced options if you want. Maybe you want to add a time frame in the last 10 days, in the last 90 days, whatever it is you want to add, you can also add that. Or if you want to use months, years, whatever it is you want. So that is for that. So you can also add another event. Remember that you can add for marketing email. If you click marketing email here, you can be able to select an event. Most importantly, sometimes we use open email and we use click email to add points, because if they're opening your emails, obviously they're interested in what you have to say. And if they're clicking on your emails, they are more interested in what you have to offer. So that is why we can be able to score based on all of this criteria. You can also say that, if they open our email, we want to be able to add another 10 points. And you can also use the advanced option in here where you can add a frequency. And you can say that if they open the email at least one time, you can add that inside of this place. Or you can say if it is exactly 4 times, so we can use exactly, or we can use between maybe between 1 and 4, or between 1 and 2, whatever it is you want to use. But it is saying here that we cannot use the at least and the between together. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to say at least one time. If they open our email, we want to be able to add 5 points. So now if they open our email at least one time, it is going to add 5 points to that particular contact. So if I come over here, I can also add advanced option for the form and for the email. So we can say if the email is delivered, you want to add points. If the you can say if it is delivered, if it is opened, if it is bounced. Now, if your email is bounced, you want to take off points from them so that you'll be able to know whether you want to prioritize them or not. If their email is bouncing, it could be that the email is actually wrong, or the email is incomplete. And when you click on subtract, for negative effect, you can be able to subtract points, and that is going to reduce the value of that particular contact. Because if the email is getting bounced, you are saying it's actually coming from maybe the email is wrong or the email is incomplete. So you can subtract points for that, and you can also add more events. You can say that if a workflow, maybe if they actually complete a workflow, or they unenrolled from a workflow, or they enrolled in a workflow, you want to also add in a point for that. You can also use the advanced option for this workflow, or you can even select a criteria for this workflow. You can be able to select the particular workflow you want to use, and you can say the workflow is any of, then you can be able to pick all of the workflows you've created inside of your organization. So lead scoring just allows us to be able to score the contact based on their interaction, or based on their custom properties, or even based on how they interact with different things in our organization. So another thing you can also do is that you can add a property group. So property group just allows us to be able to add different objects. We can be able to score this contact based on the different contact properties that we currently have inside of the organization. So we can say, if this contact is, so we can say if the lead status is, if it is, let's say if it is contacted and if it is qualified, that means these are high value leads or high value contacts, and want to be able to assign points to them. So we can say we want to score them together, or we want to score them individually. So if we've connected with them, we can then be able to add points to this, and we can say if we've connected to them, that means we've been able to contact them, we can add 5 points to that. But if they are qualified, that is more high value than connected, so we can say this one should be 10 points. So you can be able to score individually, or you can score together if you want. The same thing applies if you have a custom property that you've created. Let's say you've created different custom properties that is going to allow you to be able to manage if a contact is high value or not. So you can also select the property you want to use. You can even use the close date. You can use deal information. You can say that you want to check in for deals, and you want to check in for the contact owner. You can check for deal information like the close date. You can even check for the total revenue. You can check for the recent deal amount, and you can say that, you know what, if the recent deal amount that we have is equal to, or if it is more than, or if it is less than, if it is greater than $10,000, we want to be able to add another score for that. So you can be able to add different score for different things inside of your HubSpot account. And when you are done, you want to go back and add the name for your group. So we are just going to add this as events group. So I'm going to name this as events group, and I can also edit this and write the name of my group, and I can also edit this also and also change the name for my group. Remember that you can also add multiple objects. You can add in associated contact, associated company. You can say that if the associated company has a number of employees of 1,000 or more than 1,000, you want to add 50 points, or you want to add 30 points. You can even say if the last activity days is last month, if the last contacted is this month, you want to add a score. If they have open task, if they add lead status, you can be able to add multiple things inside of this place. As you can see, they have a lot. You can even say if they're coming from a particular country, you can be able to score them based on their country. If they're coming from Nigeria, you add 30 points. If they're coming from India, add 20 points. If they're coming from USA, you can add 10 points, or you can add whatever points it is you want for your organization. So when you are done with all of this, you want to make sure you check in on all of that and make sure that you've added the correct points. You've added in the correct points for each of these. Okay, so you can add a group limit if you want, and you can say that for this group, it should not be more than 100, or for this group, it should not be more than 50, or whatever it is you want to use. So when you add that thing, you can also add in your engagement score limit, or you can say it should be 500, whichever one you want. But most people actually use 100, because 100 is like the percentage. So you have this idea that if a contact is scoring 30 out of 100, it's kind of low. But if someone is scoring 70, then that means they are actually more valuable than people that are scoring 20. One thing you should just know is how to be able to know valuable leads in your organization. The way real estate company is going to qualify their leads is going to be different from the way a consulting business is going to qualify their leads. So you want to make sure that as a business, you look at what exactly is going to make a lead high value to you, or is going to make a lead more quality to you. So when you are able to answer that question, you can come in here and you can be able to set up the lead scoring for each of that. So I am going to change my name for this lead scoring, and I'm going to change this to contact scoring. You can also come over here to contact, and you can also decide that you want to score all of your contacts, or you want to only score a segment in your contacts. So you can say that you only want to score maybe your newsletter subscribers, or you want to only score your CRM audit leads, or you want to select whatever segments you want to use inside of this place. You can score all contacts, or you can also decide to score based on the segment also. So you can see the settings in here, and you can see the settings you can be able to use. So for the fit score, you can say that you want to edit the property for this, but we can leave it this way, and we can say that for the fit score, we want to use contact scoring fit, and for the engagement score, we want to use contact scoring engagement, and for the total score value, we want to use contact scoring for the property. So HubSpot is going to create that for you, and you can also see the limits inside of this place, the combined score. You can see the engagement score limit also, and also you can see the threshold for each of these. So you can see the fit threshold, you can see the engagement threshold, and you can be able to edit this property also, and you can name it whatever it is you want to use inside of your organization. So you can also increase this threshold if you want. If you want to change this to 80, you can do that. If you want to change this to 80 also, you can do that. You can then click on review and turn on. Now this is going to review your lead scoring, and you can see the score type you are using. You can also see the score properties you are also using inside of this list. You can see the contact code. You can also see what is going to happen when you turn on your score. And when you are done with all of that, you can also change the name of this. So let's use contact scoring. When you change the name for this, you can then click on turn on, and that is going to turn on your lead scoring. And as you can see, it has your lead score is your score is on. Your score is on, so you can be able to view the score inside of your CRM record. You can then send the highest score that you have to the sales team so that they can be able to work on that particular contact. You can also create a segment whereby you can be able to check for the score. You can say that if the score is above 80, you can add to a segment. If you click on OK here, that is going to save your contact scoring, and you can be able to come back to your CRM. When you come back to your CRM, you go to contact. You should be able to see your contact score inside of this place. So we are going to click on James, for instance, and we should be able to see the contact score we just created for James. Okay, so if I add in all of this, okay, so now I can be able to add all of this scoring, and I can be able to view them inside of my deal. So if I come back to this score over here by the left hand side, I can be able to see the score that has been given for each of these, whether it is the scoring engagement or the scoring fit or the contact scoring. So I can be able to see the score inside of this place, and I can be able to know which lead is more quality than the other. Okay, so that is for lead scoring, and that is how to set up lead scoring inside of your HubSpot account. Okay, so I want to show you another thing that is actually important that your sales team should have. It's called Playbook inside of HubSpot. Now, Playbook allows us to be able to create a script or create a particular script or create a call script for us to use, for our sales team to use inside of the CRM, so that if we're going to be qualifying a particular deal, or if we're having a discovery call with a particular deal, we can be able to follow the process of the script for every of the leads that are actually coming in inside of the organization. Now, the playbooks is only available for the sales or professional. So if you're not seeing it in your own from your own end, that is because you are not in the sales or professional. So you might be thinking, what exactly is a playbook and why is it actually important? Remember that we have 4 sales rep and we have 1 sales manager in this hypothetical company. Now imagine that a new lead comes in and they get assigned to David on the team, or they get assigned to Emma on the team. Now Emma is going to call Sarah, the new lead coming in. Sarah is the new lead coming in, and inside the playbook, David can be able to ask questions like, what are you looking for? What is your budget? When do you want to start? Now, all of these questions, in case you want to be able to get information or you want to be able to get answer to all of these questions, you can create a playbook to allow your sales team to be able to go through all of these questions when they are trying to qualify a lead. So if you want to click on create playbook here, you can see the different kind of playbooks you can actually create. So you can see that a playbook just allows us to be able to have access to sales content when it is actually needed by the sales team in our organization. We can click on discovery call playbook and we can create that playbook. We can click on qualification playbook and we can be able to ask series of questions to be able to qualify a particular lead to see if they are actually interested in buying from us. Another thing you can also do is that you can do the business review playbook and you can use the customer onboarding playbook also. The most important one that people use is the qualification playbook, and it's actually important that you have that for your sales team. So if they're on a call, they can be able to ask these questions on the call, and they can be able to fill it even in a particular contact. So I'm going to show you how to actually do that. So let's say we want to create a qualification playbook, and we click on create playbook, or you can even start from scratch if you want. As you can see, we can be able to edit each of these things, and we can be able to edit it to our own set of playbook inside of HubSpot. So I already have this playbook inside of my file in here, and in this place we have the lead qualification playbook, we have the discovery call playbook. I'm going to share this document in the link in the description below so you can be able to get this document. But the one we're going to be seeing is the lead qualification playbook. I want to be able to ask questions like, what do you need help with? How are you currently handling this? What is the size of your business? What is your timeline? It allows us to be able to qualify this particular deal or this particular lead to be able to know if they're actually ready to buy from us. And now we can be able to move them to the next stage, or we can move them to close lost if they do not qualify. So let's create this lead qualification playbook. So I'm going to go back to HubSpot And as you can see in here, we have all of these questions inside of this place. Now I can edit these questions to fit into my own criteria, or I can say that I want to rewrite all of this and I want to take off all of this, or I want to remove all of this. You can write in your own text inside of this place. So these are the questions we are going to be asking them, and we can then be able to edit this and edit all of these questions. So for instance, we are not going to be using this. We are going to be using the one we have inside of our playbook here, and we're going to be asking, what are you looking for help with? Then you update this. Now when you update this, you are updating this question, and you can be able to say this is an open text, or you can use a list of answer. We need to upgrade to do that. Like, oh my god. So upgrade is required for this, and we need to upgrade to the Sales Hub Enterprise for us to be able to do this. So if you view the pricing, I think Sales Hub Enterprise is $150 per month per seat. So some of the things I'm doing in this video, you are going to find them in the professional plan, but I'm currently on a free trial. And if you want to do upgrade to enterprise plan, it is $150 per month and per seat. So if you have 5 people in your sales team, you're going to be paying $150 for each of them inside of your HubSpot account. So make sure that is something your business can be able to carry into the future. Especially if you're not going to be using only the sales plan, you want to also use marketing plan also, which is even more expensive than the sales hub. So if you go back to your playbook in here, I'm going to update this to an open text, and I'm going to make this required, and I'm going to click on save. So I'm going to do the same thing for every of this question inside of this place. Okay, so now I can be able to insert another question if I want, and I can be able to ask this question. Like I said, I can also make it required if you want, and you click on save. That is going to add a question. If you want to add video, you can also add the video to your playbook, and you can allow people to be able to maybe watch a video into this particular playbook inside of this place. Okay, so I've inserted my video inside of this particular playbook. So another thing is that I can ask Breeze AI. Breeze AI is actually HubSpot AI, and I can ask it to refine this particular thing for me, or I can ask it to rewrite it. I can include personalization, and I can include any of the custom fields we already have inside of this particular deal, for this particular deal, or for the particular contact, or whatever it is you want to insert. We can also use HubSpot content. We can check in for action, to schedule a meeting, or to create a record. So when you've added in all of the questions you want to add, you can also be able to add this name of this playbook inside of this place. So I'm going to say the name of my playbook is Lead Qualification Playbook. You can name it whatever it is you want. You can create whatever playbook you want to create, and I'm just going to name this, and I'm going to click on publish when that is done. When I click on publish, it is going to publish my lead qualification playbook. So you might ask the question, how are we now going to use this playbook inside of our CRM? This is how to do it. So if you go back to your deals, you are going to be able to use this particular playbook inside of your deals. So for instance, for this particular deal, Thrive Business, if you go over here by the right hand side and we look for playbook, so as you can see, we have playbook inside of this place. Now we can be able to say that, oh, this person, we want to try to qualify them, or want to try to call them and qualify them to see if they're actually qualified. We just pick on the particular playbook we want to use, and we can be able to qualify them based on all of these answers. And when you actually insert the answer for this particular contact, it is going to update for this particular contact. So if any other user or any other sales rep is coming inside of your organization, they can be able to see the playbook and the responses that you've been able to add inside of this place. So I'm going to add in some random answers in here. So what are we looking for? We are looking for HubSpot implementation. So how are we adding this? Adding it manually. And remember that you are feeling this as you're on the call with the particular lead or the particular deal. You are on the call with them and you are filling in all of this information. And now you can be able to say, what is your business size? And maybe they said something like, the business size is 20. They have a budget allocated, and the budget allocated is $50,000. And when you are done with all of this, you can then log this as a call, or you can even select an outcome. So you can say that, okay, this qualification call we had with them, we're able to connect with them, and then you can log this call. Now you can log this call, and you can also create a to-do task to make sure to follow up with them in 3 business days, which is on Wednesday. And you can click on log call inside of this place. This is going to log your playbook, and you are going to see all of the details inside of your CRM. So if I click on lead qualification playbook again, as you can see, all of the details I just added is included inside of this place. It is not going to go off so far you actually log the call. So if you come over here also after you've done the lead qualification, if you want to do the discovery call script, the same way we created lead qualification playbook, you can create the lead call script, and you can also be able to ask questions based on all of these questions for this particular deal. So that is how to use playbook inside of your CRM, and that is also how to make sure that your team is following a particular pattern for all of the leads that are coming in inside of the organization. This is going to help you because you are going to get a certain point in your business whereby all of this information are going to be important for you to be able to move a deal forward in your organization. Okay, so that is how to use playbook inside of your deals. Now, another thing I want to show you is that for your sales team, it is possible that when they get to particular stages of the pipeline, you want to be able to add these particular deals to a sequence. Now, a sequence just allows us to be able to create series of emails over time. So we can say that on the first day we want to send an email, then 3 days after we want to send another email, and maybe 4 days after we want to send another email to them, just to allow us to be able to stay on top of their minds. So it is like a follow-up email. You can create follow-up emails, follow-up sequence. You can create qualification sequence. You can create lead nurture sequence, whichever sequence you want to use. The sequence is only available in the professional plan of Sales Hub. So if you want to use sequence, you want to make sure to upgrade to the professional plan. So sequence can be found under sales, and you can see sequence inside of sales. Another thing I forgot to mention is that you can be able to create different meeting pages inside of your HubSpot account. The video is up here where people can be able to book meetings with your sales team, and they can be able to book that meeting, and they can be able to have a call with your sales team. The video is up here. So if you want to create a new sequence inside of your CRM, you are going to click on create sequence, and you can be able to create sequence for different things. So we're going to be creating a 14-day sales follow-up sequence inside of our HubSpot account for this sales team in our organization. Now, our sales team, because when we actually qualify a lead and we want to move on with them by maybe we want to ask them to send the proposal and they've not replied to us that they want to receive the proposal, we can add them to a particular sequence, and that is going to nurture the leads. That is going to allow us to follow up with them just to make sure that we are not losing any deal and no deal is falling through the crack. I'm going to name this 14-day sales follow-up sequence, and I'm going to come back to my sequence inside of this place, and I'm going to start from scratch. We also have samples of the things we can use. We schedule meeting attempts, we have prospecting, we have product demo requests. All of these are sales sequence. So we are starting from scratch because I want to show you how to actually do this. When I click on create sequence here, I can be able to edit this. So I'm going to change this name to 14 days sales follow-up sequence. Now, the first stage, according to my document inside of this place, the first day we want to send a manual email. So that is going to be like a manual follow-up to be able to allow them to follow up with this particular contact. So we can say that this is going to be a manual email, and this is the email we are going to be using for this particular person. So we are going to say that this is the first stage, and as you can see, we have automated email, we have manual email task, we have call task, and we have the general task. We also have LinkedIn integration task. So if you integrate your LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can be able to do things like send a LinkedIn request, or you can be able to send LinkedIn message when you've connected this. So automated email just allows you to be able to send an email automatically, and manual email help you create a task that is going to remind you to send an email to this person. So when we want to add to this sequence, we want to use the first stage as a manual task, and we can be able to add this to the notes, this email to the notes, so that we can be able to know that this is the particular email we want to use. So if I go back in here, I'm going to name this personalized follow-up, so I can be able to remember the name, and I'm going to paste that in here. So the title, I can leave it as send follow-up email, and the priority is actually high, because if we're adding them to this sequence, that means we want to be able to follow up with them. So you can also say that you want to pause this sequence until this task is completed. So that means if you do not send this email out to this person, it is not going to move on to the next stage. I would actually recommend you actually check this. You don't want to skip this part and you're moving to the next stage and now you're sending automated emails referring to the last message you've sent when you have actually not sent out that message. So you want to make sure you pause until this task is completed. So when I'm done, I'm going to click on add, and when I click on add, that is going to add my manual task. So I can say that I want to wait. According to my document, I need to wait for day 2. Now day 2, that means 2 days, or that is a day after that, I can send a case study email to this particular contact. So this is going to be my subject line inside of this place, and this is going to be the body of my email. So I'm going to copy this also, and I'm going to paste that inside of this place, and I'm going to be using automated email for my step 2. That is because I want the email to go out automatically. So I can say this should be a reply to the previous email I just sent. If it is a reply to the previous email, I can choose that, or I can say this is going to be a new thread. So you know how in Gmail, you can be able to reply a previous email you just sent to someone by clicking on reply. The same way it applies in this place. So if you're replying to the previous email, you can add in reply, and you click on next add email template. Email contact. You can use email templates, or you can say that you want to create a new one. So we are going to be adding this template, and we're going to be naming this case study email. So I'm going to copy that inside of this place, and my subject line is, so I'm going to be adding this as my subject line, and I'm going to paste that in here. I'm also going to create my template, and I'm going to use the body of my email for this template. So this is the subject, this is the body of the email. And also remember that you need to adjust this for HubSpot personalized token. And to insert the personalized token, you just click on insert here. You can be able to see the personalized token, and we're going to be using the contact first name inside of this place. Now the fallback value means that if there is no first name on the record, what should we use? Now you can use customer, or you can use contact, or you can use clients, or you can use whatever it is you want to use. So when you click on insert, that is going to update that. And you can also see in this place we have the problem. You can adjust this to whatever fits in for your business. Remember that this is just an hypothetical email template. You can actually use whatever it is you want to use for your own business. So we are going to take this off, and this is going to be adding our own default signature. So I already added in my signature already in this HubSpot account, but if you want to edit that, just click on edit there, and you can go over to general, and you can be able to manage your email signature inside of this place. So you can edit your email signature, and when you click on save, it is going to save your email signature, and then you can be able to add it to the sequence. Okay, so after you are done with that and you've added in everything, you click on save template, and that is going to save that template to this particular stage. Now for the next stage on our sequence, the next thing we want to be able to do is that on day 4, we want to create a task, a follow-up call task. So I'm going to add this into my sequence also, and I'm going to paste that in here. I'm also going to create another task, and remember that this is going to be a call task because it is a follow-up call. So I'm going to be adding this as a call task, and I'm going to be adding the title of my call. So I can just paste that in here as a follow-up call. The priority is going to be high, and I can add a note inside of this place. So let me just copy the notes. So I'm going to be adding the notes inside of this place just to make sure, so that the sales rep can be able to see what they actually need to do on this particular call. So when I'm done, I'm going to click on add. This is going to add this particular task. And the next thing I want to do after on my document is that on day 6, I want to send out a value email. Now I'm going to copy the subject line of this email, and I'm also going to copy the body of this email, and I'm going to paste that inside of this place. Now remember that this is an automated email, so we are going to be using the automated email step. So I'm going to be choosing that as a reply, or I'm going to say that, you know what, I want to use it as a new thread. Now it is going to create a new thread of email for this particular stage. So I'm going to click on continue. It is asking me to select a template, so I can just pick from the template I already have, and that is going to insert that inside of this template. So after that, the next thing we want to see is that on day 9, we want to have in a personal check-in email. So this is going to be a personal check-in that is being sent to the contact, so that we can be able to check in with them. So you're going to go back to your sequence, and you're going to be adding this. Now remember that this is going to be a manual task, not an automated email. So I'm going to pick in manual task, and I'm going to be adding it as a reply to the step 4 email I just created. And I'm going to add in the content, and I'm going to paste that in here, and I'm going to add in the title of my task. So I can say that this is called personalized check-in. Oh my god, that is too big. The priority is going to be high, and we can also add it to a task queue if you want. Now we are going to be adding the notes, and we are going to be adding the subject and the body of the email so that people can be able to see it. And when you click on add, it is going to add that inside of your templates. Remember that you can also edit it as you keep on creating. You can edit, you can delete it if you want, you can move it up, you can move it down. You can do it however you want. So we are moving this down. We can also say that I want to delete this if you want. We can also edit the threading if you want, whether you want to edit it as a new reply or as a new thread or reply to the previous email. But we still have one. We still have second call attempt. So this is going to be a second call attempt for the particular lead. So we are going to be saying that this is to call the lead again to make sure if they are still planning to move on with our business, or if they're still planning to buy from us. So this is going to be named final follow-up call. So we're going to go on over to the sequence in here. We're going to be adding this, and remember that this is going to be a call task because we are calling them, and we can be able to add this, and we can add in the personalization for the contact name. We can say personalization should be for the first name, so it will not be final follow-up call for the contact first name. Now you can also add the priority to be high, add the note also, and I'm going to paste that in here. It's just to make sure that the contact is not going to be seeing this actually. It is the sales reps that are going to be seeing all of this that we are inserting inside of the sequence. So I'm going to click on add, and when I click on add, that is going to add the tags. So we can edit this, and we can say, you know what, the first task should be sent maybe 3 business days or 4 business days after we've sent in the first task. The next email should be sent 4 days after. Now if you're going to be doing this, number one, in as much as you want to follow up with people and just make sure you stay on top of their mind, it actually gets to a point that you may actually become a nuisance to them. So you want to make sure it does not get to that point. You want to make sure that you are trying to stay on top of their minds, and you are also keeping it at a reasonable level. There is no reason why you should be creating a task every day to follow up with someone. That is too much actually. So you can use 4 business days. Then the next stage can be to delay for maybe 3 business days, and you click on save. The next stage can be to delay for maybe 5 business days, and you click on save. The next one can be to delay for 6 business days, and you click on save also. And the next one, you can even wait for 10 business days, 9 business days, just to give that gap for them to be able to, yeah. But at the same time, it should not be too much, it should also not be too small. Just look for a ground that is reasonable for the kind of business you do, because for the follow-up days can be different from a real estate company, can be different from a coaching business, can be different from an insurance company. We all have different follow-up days for our own business. So just fit in whatever works in for your own business, and remember that this delay is going to occur after this stage has been done. So that means if this fifth particular stage has been done, it's going to wait for 9 days. It's going to delay for 9 days before the call task is done. So let's stop at the call task actually. And also, if you want to add another one, you can add general tasks, automated tasks, manual tasks, or whatever it is you want to add. And I'm also going to click on remove step to remove this. Now, before we save, we can be able to go back to the settings in here, and we can say that we want to be able to execute each of these steps on business days. I would actually recommend to do this especially if you are not a 24/7 business. This is going to make sure that the emails are executed on business days. The tasks also are executed on business days. Okay, so we can also see the automated email send window. We can say that it should only send email from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You want to make sure to actually set this, because you don't want to be able to send emails in the midnight and your contact is sleeping while you're sending out emails to them. So you pick the particular time you want to be able to send emails, and you can also add the task reminders if you want. You can say that the reminder time should be maybe 9 a.m. on the same day, or 10 a.m. on the same day, or whatever it is you want to use. You can also decide to add to a campaign if you want. We are going to be seeing campaigns in the marketing series of HubSpot. We're not going to be seeing it in the sales of part. So when you are done with this, you can also automate some things if you want. Now you can say that whenever any contact reply to any email on this email sequence, we want to take them off the contact, or we can say that all of the contacts at the company should be taken off from the sequence. So let's say you are trying to, follow up with the sales manager, or you're trying to follow up with the or you're trying to follow up with the CEO, you're also trying to follow up with the general manager of a company, and if any one of them responds, you can take all of them away from the sequence. Now, if they actually book a meeting, you can also unenroll all of the complaints in your organization. So you can even say you want to create an automation in here whereby maybe if they submit a form, or if they submit a specific form, you want to take them off this particular sequence. So we can say that if they submit this meeting link form, we can be able to set this workflow action, and we can say that we want to unenroll the contacts from the sequence when they actually fill out this form, because when they fill out this form, they are saying that they want to be able to buy from us, or they want to have a meeting with us, and that means they're interested in our business, and we do not need to start following up with them again. So I'm going to click on create, and I'm going to turn this on, and this is going to turn on this automation for this particular stage. You can also create another automation if you want, and when you are done with all of this, you want to click on save. Please make sure to save this thing, and make sure that you save for everyone if you want everyone to be able to see this sequence, and you can make it private if you want to make sure that just a set of people actually see this sequence and not everyone in your organization. Or you can say, you know what, we only want this sales team to see this sequence, or only want the operation team to see the sequence. But since this is a sales team build, we are going to be creating for the sales team. And now when you are done, you click on save, and that is going to save your sequence. Okay, so when we are done with our sequence, we can see where we can be able to enroll contacts inside of our sequence. So we can pick the contacts we want to enroll inside of the sequence, and when you click on next, you can be able to enroll this particular set of people into the sequence. So it's asking you to create the contacts immediately, which is the first stage, and we are going to be picking that, and we are going to click on enroll, and we're going to be picking enroll to sequence, and that is going to enroll these two sequence, these two contacts into our sequence inside of HubSpot. And now the two contacts has been enrolled. When you refresh this, you can see the scheduled emails, and you can see the in progress. You can also see all the enrollments. Another way you can be able to enroll contacts inside of this sequence is to go into the contacts page. Now, when you click on contacts, you can also select multiple contacts from this particular place. When you pick that, you can click on more over here, and you can be able to enroll in sequence. When you click on enroll in sequence, it's going to ask you for the sequence you want to enroll those contacts to, and we're enrolling them to this. So we select that, and it's saying that these people are already inside of the sequence. So we are just going to continue with the remaining set of people, and we can be able to enroll these people inside of this sequence, and they are also going to start this sequence and start all of the stages and steps. So that is how to create sequence inside of your HubSpot account. And also make sure to allow your sales team to be able to enroll whatever contacts. If it is still in the non-qualified stage, enroll them to follow up with them so that they can qualify them. If it is in the qualified stage, enroll them in a sequence where you can be able to move them to the next stage. Maybe it is the nurture sequence where you need to nurture them about your product, nurture them about your services, nurture them about what they need to do next. It's the sequence actually helps to be able to make sure that we are staying on top of every deal, every contact in the organization. Now, another thing I'm going to show you now is how to create goals inside of your HubSpot account. Now, when you start setting up reporting, and you start setting up, KPIs and all of that thing, and you want to start measuring metric, it is actually important that you create goals inside of your organization. You want to be able to set up goals for different things. Let's say you have a goal in your organization to get to $1 million. Now, how do we track this $1 million inside of HubSpot? How do we make sure that we are doing everything as much as possible to get to our $1 million, our 1 million annual goal inside of HubSpot? That is why we have goals, and it allows us to be able to create a goal, and it's going to measure how much of these goals we've been able to achieve, and how much more we need to do before we achieve the total goal. Now, to create goal, you are going to click on goal over here, and you can create from your templates. You can also create from scratch if you want. You can create goals for revenue where you want to be able to track the amount of sales you are generating in a year. Maybe you are setting a goal to generate $1 million for 2026, you can do that. You can create for lead created, you can create for meeting book, for numbers of contacts in life cycle stage, for contacts from last ad interaction, for deal created. You can create goals for all of this. Now, you just need to make sure to ask yourself this question: what exactly is important in this organization for me to track? The most important thing we have to do is to track revenue. Obviously, we are in business to make money, and the reason why we are using HubSpot also is to help us track our revenue, track our cost, to track our clients, our customers, and to see how well we are doing. So we are going to click on revenue over here, and we are going to set a goal for revenue. As you can see, it already picked that template, and you can also set in your goal name. So we can say that this is going to be our revenue 2026. You can actually name this whatever it is you want. So this is just for example's sake. Okay, so after we've added in the goal name, we are also going to choose whether we want to use this in a in forecasting or not. No, I do not want to use it in forecasting. I want to also create this for individual user. If you want to use your team, if you've created team in your organization, maybe your sales team, your marketing team, you can also create a goal for a team. You can also see the cadence in here, and you can say that maybe this goal is to check for monthly, or if it is to check for yearly. So we can use yearly if you want, you can use monthly, you can even use quarterly if you want. You can say that for every quarter in your organization, you want to be able to generate $100,000, or for every quarter in your organization, you want to be able to generate $1 million in your organization. So when you are done, you click on next, and when you click on next, as you can see inside of this place, I can be able to select the pipeline I am creating this goal for. I can say I'm using all pipeline, or I can use individual pipeline if I want, and this is for the goal for the year 2026. And I can say that our goal for this year is to generate $1 million inside of our organization. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our goal is to generate $1 million by the end of 2026. Now, when you click on next, it is going to take you to this place where you can receive notification based on all of this. If your goal is being started, you can turn that on for the notification. You can also see that if you've exceeded this goal, you can also send a notification to the person that is involved in this goal. If the goal is achieved, you can also send notification, and if the goal is missed, you can also send notification. When you are done, you click on done, and that is for the goal for the revenue. Now, as you can see, that is going to create that inside of this place. You can also create another goal where you can be able to create from contact. So you can say that you want to track in for the contact that is being created in your organization, or you can say the leads created inside of your organization. You can also set goal inside of this place, and we can say for all of the leads created, we can see that has been added. You can also add in your goal name. So we are going to be using lead 2026, and we can also see the contributors for this particular goal. Because we do not have team, we're going to be using individual users. And we can also say that I want to track in for every month, or want to track in for quarterly. Now, when you click on next, you can be able to see Emma Glory here. If you have any other rep inside of this list, if you have any other sales rep, you can be able to add them to this particular goal also. And you can be able to add for each quarter the number of leads you want to generate inside of your organization. So for each of this quarter, we want to generate 10,000 leads inside of our organization. So 10,000 leads, that is going to give us 40,000 leads by the end of this year. So when you are done, you click on next. You can also turn on the notification for each of these, and when you turn on the notification, you click on done. That is how to create goal. As you can see, it is so simple. So for your goals, you can be able to edit this, and you can edit whatever it is you want. If you are done, you click on exit, and if you can also click on actions here, where you can also create a report for this goal, or you can also clone this goal for upcoming year. So this is for 2026. You can say we want to clone this for 2027, and you can also clone that if you want. So that is how to create and use goals in your organization. Now that we've seen goals and we've seen how to set up all of this, there is one thing I would actually like to mention at this point. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and also share with everyone who you think is going to need this video. We have a mission to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year, and you can make that happen for us. So subscribe, like, and share this video to everyone who you think is going to need this video. Like I said, this is the advanced series of the main video we've created, so you can be able to start from the first video first before you get into this one to actually continue. So now that we've seen how to create goals, let's see how we can be able to set up workflows inside of our organization. Another thing we want to see now is how to set up workflows inside of your organization. Now we are in the part of HubSpot that actually connects everything we have been creating, even right from the first video. Everything we have been creating from the foundational level to this point, this is where everything is going to be connected. Now, rather than me showing you how to create 20 workflows, I just want you to understand how workflow actually works. Who should enter a workflow? What conditions should actually cause a workflow to be triggered? And what should happen immediately the workflow is triggered? Now, workflow actually allows us to be able to create an automated process for different processes in our organization. So for instance, we created email sequence, the one we just checked right now. Email sequence just allows us to be able to create series of emails, whether and series of tasks. We can be able to send those emails over a period of time. But workflow is actually different. We can create automated processes for each of our stages of our pipeline, or we can even create automation for tickets, we can create automation for leads, we can create automation for complaints, we can create automation for every of the modules we have inside of HubSpot. So to create automation, you are going to go over to automation over here and you're going to click on workflows. Now, when you click on workflows, it's going to take you to this place where you can be able to set up your own workflow inside of HubSpot. Now, you need to upgrade to marketing or professional for your workflows to work. There are some workflows that actually work that need to work in sales or professional also, especially if you are doing with workflows that have to do with deals. You need to subscribe to sales or professional, but you mostly need the marketing or professional for workflows to actually be turned on. So to create a workflow, you can either create from scratch, you can use templates, or you can use AI. So we are going to be using templates first, so I can show you how that look like. So we can say that I want to send an email immediately a form is submitted, or we can say we want to assign a task when a new deal is created. There is a when and there is a then. So that means when this is done, this should be done. When this is done, this should be created. Or when this is done, an email should be sent. Or when this is done, a new lead should be created or a new deal should be created. So all of this can be done inside of automation. You can create a drip email campaign to your leads, to your customers. You can also assign new leads to different contact owners. You can also create re-engagement emails. You see that this is quite different from email sequence, and workflow is actually more powerful than email sequence because you can do a lot more inside of workflows. So you can start from scratch if you want, and to start from scratch, you can just start from scratch over here. And when you click on start from scratch, it is going to show you this first place where we have the trigger. So you might be asking, what exactly is a trigger? Now, a trigger in HubSpot means that what needs to be done before the series of automation or before the series of action is going to take place. Now, a trigger, like the normal trigger we have in the gun, when you trigger something, something goes off. So what is going to be the condition that needs to be fulfilled before this workflow can start working? What needs to happen? What are the conditions? What are the criteria that needs to happen before this workflow gets started inside of the organization? Now we can say that we can be able to trigger based on different things. So we can say that we want to trigger based on some data value, when some data value is created, or when a playbook is logged, when a record is created, record like leads, like deals, when a deal is created, when a task is created. When you click on record created, you can see over here that you have all of these records. Now, when each of this record is created, you can trigger an automation. So you can also go back and you can say that when an email and call criteria happen, for instance, when a call event happen, when you call someone, or when there is a meeting event, like when someone click on a marketing email, or when someone open your marketing email, you want to trigger this automation. So trigger is just saying that what needs to happen before we can be able to start this workflow. What needs to be fulfilled? What condition needs to be fulfilled before this automation can be set off? Now, for this particular tutorial, we are going to be creating a simple workflow actually, and we are going to be using some filter criteria, and we're going to be using contact. Now, I want to be able to use contact, and as you can see, we have all of these that you can create for contact. You can use the contact properties, you can use the workflow enrollment, you can use the import membership, you can also use CTAs, you can use email subscription, form submission. They have a lot that you can use. And I'll also show you how to create with AI, because if you're a beginner, I'll actually advise you use the AI because it actually helps you create the workflow from the scratch. But you also need to understand the fundamental level of what workflow actually is used for before you can even understand what the AI has created for you. And that is why I'm taking you through this. Now, we are going to be creating for contacts, and we can say something like, you know what, if the lead status isn't qualified, I want to set off this workflow. Or if the lead status isn't contacted, I want to set up this workflow. Now we can say also that if the contact owner is Emma Glory, or if the contact owner is Sarah Jane, or if the HubSpot team is a particular team, we can use lead status, we can use close dates, we can use sales properties, we can use deal information, we can use order information, we can use contact activities, their last activity dates. For instance, if you want to do a re-engagement, if you want to do a re-engagement campaign, you can say if their last activity date is a year ago or 90 days ago, you want to set up this automation. Or if the last contacted is 90 days ago, that means they are turning to cold leads, and you can be able to create an automation for them to re-engage these people that their last activity is 90 days. You can also see over here, if they are now in a sequence, you have different triggers that you can use. Trust me, if I go through all of these triggers inside of this video, we're going to use a whole day to explain automation. But I just need you to understand that the trigger is just saying what needs to happen before this automation can be set off. When you understand that, you can be able to create your workflow from scratch. Remember that you can also create for contacts, you can create for deals, you can create for tickets, you can create for emails, you can create for users, for all of this. You can even create for your sequence enrollment, for quotes, for products, for all of this inside of your organization. So we are going to be saying that if the lead status is opened, or if the lead status is any of, if the lead status is contacted, and if they are qualified, they should be coming inside of this workflow. Now, when you click on this, you can be able to add another criteria, and you can say that if you are using this criteria, you can say that, or if maybe we can use contact property, and we can also say that if the contact owner is any of, then you can pick whatever it is you want for the contact owner. So now if you are using, or you are saying that this should happen, or if this happen, they can be added to this workflow. The or is selective, it can pick one or it can pick two. But if you are using hand here, if you are using the and criteria, you are saying that the lead status must be any of this, and another thing must be done. So that is for that. Now, when you set off your criteria, you can click on next. And when you click on next, you can also decide that you want to allow contacts to be able to re-enroll inside of this workflow. Now, if you toggle this on, you are saying that if any of these contacts fulfill this criteria again, even after they've completed the workflow, they can be re-enrolled. That means they can be entered into this workflow again, even though they've completed this workflow. I would not advise you to turn this on, especially if you do not need it, or especially if you are creating email sequence or email workflows. And that is because you'll be resending the emails to the particular contact, and obviously they can block you, they can unsubscribe, and we can become a nuisance to them if you do that. So we do not want to do that actually. So we turn this off and we click on save and continue. Now, when you click on save and continue, you can see over here that we can configure this. We can say that after this trigger has been set up, what needs to happen? Remember that when this happens, then move to this. When the lead status is qualified and the contact owner is Emma Glory, what should happen? And that is why we can be able to click on the plus, and we can be able to do all of this. We can ask the AI to do things. We can use communication. You can see all of the things you can do, all of the actions. If you use CRM, you can be able to create notes, create tasks, create record. And if you use marketing, you can see all of the things you can do for marketing. If you use data ops, you can be able to use your custom code if you want to write the code. If you want to send a webbook, you can also do that inside of this place. Now, for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to be doing something simple, and we're going to be saying that, you know what, anybody that gets into this criteria, we want to be able to send them in an email. So we can be able to select an automated email. Remember that when I was explaining emails, I said there are two types of emails. There's the regular email and there's the automated email. So you can be able to select whatever it is you want to use. And when you select that, it is going to preview your email. If you want to edit that, just click on edit, and it is going to take you to the place where you can be able to edit all of this for your particular email. So you click on save email, and that is going to save the email. Let's use second email. That looks nicer. So you can also use that if you want, and you click on save. Now, who are we sending to? Are we sending to the enrolled contact, or are we sending to the associated contact? Now, for your contact, it is possible that you are having an associated contact to that particular contact that is being enrolled. You can select that if you want. You can also select enrolled contacts. Enrolled contacts means everyone fulfilling this criteria is going to be sent this particular email. So when you click on save in here, that is going to save this particular step. Then you can decide to start adding multiple steps. You can say after you've sent this email, you want to delay. If you click on delay, you can delay based on a calendar date, you can delay based on a date property, you can delay until an event occurs, or you can delay for a set amount of time. You can even delay until a day of the week and until a specific time of the day. So we can say that, you know what, let's delay until a calendar date, and we can say we want to wait until the 28th of August before we can move to the next stage. Or we can say that I want to delay until a date property. If you have a date property, if you've created maybe a proposal date, or you've created a birthday, whatever it is, whatever date property you've created, you can wait until that particular date property, and you can be able to select the date property that you have inside of your organization. Now, some date properties that have been created by HubSpot, the most important one we have is the close date. So you can say maybe you should wait until the close date before you do the next action. So you can also decide that you want to wait until an event or call. So you can say that you want to wait until the email is bounced, or till the call is started, or until the job is started, or till the playbook is logged. If you don't know how to create playbook inside of your HubSpot account, this video is here to teach you how to do that. You can also decide to wait until they click on a marketing email, or you can also decide to wait until they replied to your marketing email. So you can say that this email we just sent, let's wait until they actually open this email before we move to the next stage. As you can see, it has created the criteria for that inside of this place, and it has said that open email has been completed any of time. And we can also add in a filter, and we can say that, you know what, we want to add in a filter for the email name. We can be able to use this particular name, and we can say that anybody that actually opened this second email is going to move to the next stage. So we are going to say that, you know what, if they open the email and the email name is second email, then we can be able to move them to the next stage. That is going to add the filter inside of this place. But if you do not need that filter, you can just cancel this, and you can say that if they open any of your marketing email, you want to move them to the next stage. So you can also decide to click add a branch if you want, but you can take that off if you do not want that. So that means if they open your email, they'll be going to a branch. If they do not open your email, they'll be going to another branch. So we do not want that. I will teach you how to do a branch soon. So when you are done with this, you just click on done. And when you click on done, it's going to save that for this particular event. And you can also select that, you know what, we want to say that I want to use it for a set period of time. This is the most popular one. You can set for 1 week, you can set for 2 days, you can set for 3 days, you can set for any amount of time you want. And you can only say that, okay, I want to only use business days. So that means only on business days, that is when the next step is going to be triggered. So we can say that we want to wait for 1 day, we want to wait for 3 days, whatever days you want to use, you can actually do that. That is for the set amount of time. You can also decide to wait until a day of the week. So you can say that you want to wait until Monday, or you want to wait until Thursday, or you want to wait until Friday before the next step is done. Maybe you do not want a particular step to be done on Monday. You do not need to include that. So you can also decide that you want to use the same time of the day the delay started. So you can use that if you want, or you can choose a particular time if you actually want. You can also see the last one where we have until a specific time of the day. So we can say we want to wait until 8 a.m. for us to send the next email, or want to wait until 10 a.m. for us to send this next email. It is going to help us to make sure that we're not sending emails at ungodly hours, or the hours that we're not supposed to. So that is for dates. And when we click on the set amount of time, we can be able to say we want to wait for 4 days and to use business days, and that is going to calculate 4 days for you in business days. So that means if someone enters into this workflow and they receive this email, this delay is going to be set for business days only. So if they come in on Friday, it is not going to count until the next Monday. Saturday and Sunday are not going to be counted in the delay. If you come over here and you click on add, you can also add in a branch. So you can say that you want to add a branch based on property, or an action output. So for instance, if their location is Australia, or if their location is USA, or you can add the and or logic. The and or just allows us to be able to create different criteria. We can say that if the lead status is contacted and they are also from Australia, you can add them to this particular stage. Or we can also say that I want to do the random distribution by percentage if you want. So if we're using the one property, so we're checking for the enrolled contact, and you can use whether email or you can use whatever it is you want. So we're using enrolled contact in here, and we can say that, you know what, we want to check in for the city, or we want to check in for the status, or we can even check in for the country if you want. So we can say if the country or the region is a particular thing or contains something, so we can be able to create a branch for that. So we can say that, you know what, now I want to split these people into different branches. If the country is equal to or it contains USA, we can include that in a branch, and we can also add another branch if you want. And you can say that if it is equal to or if it contains India, then you can add in another branch if you want. You can add in another branch, and you can say if it contains Nigeria. The reason why I use contain is because I want to be able to make sure if there are different text inside of that field, it is going to contain whatever it is we are using. So we can say we want to say if the country is also Nigeria, we want to add them to this particular branch also. You can create multiple branch, and you can also create a branch for which is if none of this is met, they are going to be coming into this place. That means none of this criteria is actually met. When you click on save, that is going to create your branch. And as you can see, we have the branch for USA, we have the branch for Nigeria, and the one for India. Then you can be able to continue the different criteria you want to use for each person under this branch. You can say for USA, we want to send an email, and we want to send a special type of email. Or we can say we want to enroll to a sequence, but to enroll to a sequence, you need to upgrade. You need to upgrade to the Sales Hub Enterprise. And the Sales Hub Enterprise is how much is Sales Hub Enterprise? The Sales Hub Enterprise is $150 per month per seat. So you want to make sure that you want that. So you can be able to also send an email if you want. So we can say if you are coming from India, we want to send a welcome email. And if you have another version of email, you can do the same thing for Nigeria. And you can say that, okay, let's send another version of email for people coming in from Nigeria. So we can use another version for India, for USA. We can also use another version of email for people coming in from Nigeria. This actually helps you, especially if you have different clients coming from different places. You can be able to specify where they are coming from, and you can be able to create different emails for where they are coming from. So this is just a bit of what automation can do. Automation can do a lot. You can send internal email notification. You can send WhatsApp messages if you have WhatsApp connected already. You can also decide that you want to add an item, a line item to a deal, that is product to a deal. You can create record, you can edit record, you can do all of these things. So now after you've added in all of the actions you want to use inside of your organization, you can also click on edit here to edit your enrollment trigger if you want. You can also click on edit to add action to your particular workflow. You can also click on edit to edit a goal. Now the goal just allows you to be able to edit a goal for this particular workflow. And we can say that we want to be able to add a workflow goal. And that means if this goal is met, every of these contacts is going to be taken off from every of the contact that meets this particular goal is going to be taken off from the workflow. So you can also decide that you want to do that. Okay, so we can say that if the contact property, we can say if the lead status is a particular thing, then this is going to take them off from this workflow. So we can say if this is a re-engagement campaign, if the lead status is now closed one, it is going to take them away from this workflow. That means they will be taken off from this workflow and no action is going to be done on them again. This is actually good if you have a workflow whereby you are sending emails to re-engagement campaign to cold leads and you want to re-engage them. Now if they move to closed one, that means they've bought from you, so you do not need to still re-engage them again. So you just take them off the workflow. You can add in another criteria if you want. You can say if the lead status is closed one and maybe a deal has been created or a deal record is seen or whatever it is you want to use. You can also name your workflow, and you can name this re-engagement campaign. You can name it whatever it is you want, and you can also ask the AI to generate a description for you, and AI is going to generate that description for you. And then you click on save, When you click on save, that is going to save your workflow, and you can then click on review and turn on. And this is going to calculate the number of people that actually fulfill this criteria inside of your HubSpot account. As you can see, we have 15 people that have lead status to be contacted or qualified, or the contact owner is Emma Glory. You can also be able to enroll them into the sequence if you want. When you click on yes, you are saying that you want to be able to enroll these 15 contacts inside of this particular workflow. If you click on no, you are saying that no, do not enroll them inside of this workflow. This is going to start when this actually happens inside of your HubSpot account. You can see the re-enroll edits. You can also be able to click on next to see your time preference. You can run this workflow at specific times. You can say that, you know what, I want to be able to run this workflow at specific time and dates. So if you have events that you're having, if you have an event for maybe you are doing a webinar, and this workflow for that webinar, you can say that it is only going to be on at a particular time or at a particular date. You can also decide to add to post on specific dates. Maybe you want to post on public holidays or whatever it is you want. You can also decide to schedule this workflow to turn off automatically. So after your event is done, you can decide that this workflow should be turned off maybe at a particular date or time. So you can click on save, or you can click on back. So you can also go back in here where you can turn on your notification for this workflow. Whenever it needs review, you can turn on that notification. When you click on next in here, you can see all of the things that are being used inside of this workflow. You can see the sequence that are being used. You can see the emails that are being used. You can also see the users that are being used inside of this workflow. If there are forms used inside of this workflow, you can also see that. You can see your workflow details over here. You can see the name. You can also be able to add this workflow to a campaign. So we can say we want to add them to the lead generation campaign or add to the product launch campaign. Whatever it is you want, you can add that, and you click on save over here, and that is going to save this. And you can see that the permission is available to everyone. You can be able to edit your brand also. You can add to a folder if you want. And when you are done with everything and you see that everything is correct, you can click on turn on workflow, and this is going to turn on your workflow. And you can be able to click on enroll to enroll a particular segment or to enroll a particular filter from your organization. You can also enroll individual contacts inside of your HubSpot account to this particular workflow. Now, when you are done, you can also test this. You can test this by picking a particular contact you would like to test with, and you can be able to test with that contact. You can also decide to see the performance history. You can see the enrollment history to see the number of contacts that are coming in inside of this workflow, and you can be able to see them. You can also be able to see the action log to see whatever is being done for each of these contacts. You can see the delay has been started. You can see if the email has been sent. You can see if whatever has been done inside of your workflow. You can see them inside of the action log. Whatever is being done for each of the contacts is being done too. So if you go back to your workflow, you can also see the troubleshoot enrollment. You can see the troubleshoot actions also. So that is how to create workflows and how to use workflows inside of HubSpot. Another thing you can also do is that you can also decide to use Breeze AI to create your workflow. So to do that, you are going to click on with AI inside of this list, and you are going to ask the AI to generate a workflow for you. Okay, so we are going to be creating a workflow, and we're going to be using the AI workflow. And as you can see here, it has created some suggestions for me to use. So I can say that what should this workflow automate? You can be able to create that, or you can even say you want to use something else, and you can type in whatever it is you want. So I have created a prompt I want to use for this AI, and I've already created that prompt in here. And we are creating a prompt to create a contact-based workflow for this consulting firm, and it's going to enroll when people actually submit the contact us form. So we're going to be using the contact us form, and want to set this life cycle state to lead, and want to do all of this for this particular workflow. Now, when you insert the prompt inside of this place, as you can see, it is going to create this particular workflow using the prompt that you've added to the AI. So when you wait a little bit, it is going to generate that workflow for you. Okay, so the AI has actually listed everything out, and as you can see here, it is saying that we want to be able to create a workflow based on all of this. I waited for like 2 minutes for it to generate this. Then the trigger is when they submit the contact us form. The action is that they will be added to the life cycle stage, which is lead, and the lead status is going to be updated to new. and it's going to wait for one business day to create a to-do task for the contact owner, and it's going to send an internal email notification. So instead of us creating this manually, we can decide to approve and build this workflow. Now, HubSpot AI, which is Breeze AI, is going to create this workflow for us. So let's wait a minute for it to generate the workflow. That was actually very fast. So it came in, and now we have this workflow, and now I can be able to click on this workflow here. As you can see, the workflow has been generated for me. I can also decide to ask the AI to edit some things if I do not like some things inside of this workflow. Let's say I want to edit this trigger. I can ask the AI to edit that, or I can even come ahead and just edit it myself. So as you can see, the life cycle stage of the enrolled contact has been moved to lead, and we also have the lead status updated to new, and it's going to wait for one day, business days only, and it's going to create a follow-up task. It's also going to send an internal email notification when this form is being submitted. So you can also use this prompt. You can create different prompts for your business. You can ask ChatGPT. You can ask ChatGPT to create a prompt for you that you can be able to use in your workflow inside of HubSpot. So when you are done, also you go through the same process. You review and turn it on. You click on next, and make sure that everything is done, and you turn on your workflow. When you turn on this workflow, it's going to search in for all of the criteria, and it is going to be pulling them into this workflow. Okay, so that is how to create workflows inside of HubSpot. I'm here again to tell you that if you're not subscribed to this channel, you are making a huge mistake. And I want you to go ahead right now and subscribe to this channel. I'm not asking you for any other thing, just for you to subscribe. Thank you so much as you do that. And I want to say a very big thank you to all of our subscribers out there. If you are subscribed to this channel already, I want to say a very big thank you to you. I see you, and I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate your effort in subscribing. Thank you so much. So let's continue. But now that we've seen workflows, another important part we want to be able to look at inside of this advanced series is the reporting, reports and dashboards. Your CRM is not complete without report and dashboard, because we want to be able to see what is going on in our organization at each particular time, in each particular space. And the only way we can be able to see what exactly is going on in our business is through dashboard and reporting. And if you come over here to reporting, you are going to see over here where you can create reports. So reports just allows us to be able to check in for one particular thing that is going on. And dashboards is accumulation of different reports. So we can say we want to create a report, and we want to create a, when you click on create report over here, you can be able to create reports based on different things. If you go to the report library, you can be able to see the different reports you can create inside of your HubSpot account. You can be able to see the form submission in your organization. You can see the count of contacts by form. You can be able to see reports based on different things in your organization. So when you pick on this template, you can be able to use this template to build for your own particular organization. And another thing you can also do is that you can search for different data source. You can say you want to use contact as your data source, and it's going to search for all of the report that has contact as the data source. And you can also use calls. You can use calls if you actually use calls. You can use deals if you want, and that is going to also search based on deals inside of your organization. As you can see, they have a lot of templates for reports. I mean a lot. And you can be able to use each of them for your own business. For instance, we can say contacts created by content type if you want. You can see for contacts created by interaction source. You can also see contact created by traffic over time. You can see contacts created by website traffic, and all of this inside of your organization. And when you click on any of the reports you want to use, you can then decide to save this report, or you can even be able to edit it if you want. So this report is actually checking for leads, for customer, for opportunities. Those are the different lead life cycle stages we currently have. If you want to manage properties, you can do that in here. The properties you want to be able to see, you can actually do that and click on apply. Now you can be able to see each of those properties on your report. You can also decide that you want to display properties based on the count of contacts, and you also want to check in the dimension. We're actually checking for is the original traffic source, and we can also check, we are breaking down by lead, life cycle stage. If you do not want to use life cycle stage, you can change it to lead status to break by lead status. If you want, you can change it back to life cycle stage if you also want that. Another thing you can also do is that you can change your diagram. You can use pie chart, you can use bar chart, you can use KPI, you can use whatever it is you want for your business. So let's choose breakdown by lead status. We're changing to lead status, and we are using, so if we're using the bar chart over here, you can also do that. You can be able to see the different contact based on their lead source. So you can see the lead status, sorry. So those people on the new lead status, contacted lead status, closed one lead status, qualified lead status. And if you want, you can also edit in the reports builder if you want. And this is going to allow you to be able to edit inside of the reports builder, and you can be able to you can be able to edit in this place. As you can see, it is displaying all of this, and if you want to change any of that, you can do that. You can say that you want to check in for the original status, and you can edit it to whatever it is you want. You go back to report, and when you go back to report, you click on create, and we're going to be creating reports with AI inside of our HubSpot account. So I'm going to create some prompt that I can use. Okay, so you can use different prompts inside of your AI, Breeze AI here. You can paste your prompt in here, and we can say, you know what, show me the count of deals by deal stage for the for this quarter, excluding the closed lost deals that we have. And when you click on this, it is going to help you generate your report for that you can use for this particular prompt that you've actually given. So as you can see here, the report has been generated, and I can click on edit, and I can be able to edit this report. As you can see, these are the deal stage, and it's saying only one deal is available for this quarter. And if I want, I can also decide to edit this, and I can say I do not want to show for quarter. Maybe I want to show for this month, or I want to show for this year, and I can decide to use this year. So I can decide to use this year, and I can decide to use the create date or the close date. So I use create date, and I can be able to see each of the deals that has been created according to their create date on each of this deal. We have 7 deal on the first stage of the pipeline. We have 7 deal on the next one, 7, and we can be able to see all of the deals inside of the pipeline. If you click on the advanced filter, you can see this filter in here that has been done. We are excluding closed lost deals, so I can edit this filter, and I can just delete it if I want. If I delete it, I believe it should actually include our closed lost deal inside of this particular report. Remember that we are displaying by deal stage inside of this place, and we are measuring by the count of deals. If you do not want to measure by the count of deals, you can also decide to manage the properties in here, and we can say so we can say we want to check in and want to measure by the amount of deals instead of the deal, instead of the count of deals. So we can say we want to check in for the amount of the deals, and we can also select count of the deals. It's going to help us count the deals, and it's also going to measure by the amount of the deals also. So you can also be able to manage properties here, and you can be able to pick whatever it is you want to check for. If you want to check for deal status, if you want to check for deal owner, whatever it is you want to check for, and you can be able to display according to that. So we are displaying by deal stage, and we are saying that the sum of the deal and also the count of the deal. Remember that you can also do this for contacts if you want. You can use pie chart, you can use bar chart, you can use whatever it is you want for this particular report. And as you can see, it's also listing the sum amount for each of this deal. Our closed one is $250,000, and we can see each of the amount on each of these stages inside of this place. And when you click on the data here, you can be able to see the deals that we currently have inside of this report. Now, when you are done with the report, you can export it if you want. You can export it as an Excel file or a CSV or whatever it is you want. I'm just going to name this open deals, and when I'm done, I'm going to click on next, and I can be able to see my report inside of this place, and I can be able to save this report. Now, when I click on save report, this is the name of the report, and I can be able to add different tags for my report. So if you have different reports like the sales report, marketing report, you can be able to create tags where you can be able to identify where this report is coming from. Is it from the sales? Is it from the marketing? Is it from tickets? you can create different reports for that. So you can also decide to add to a dashboard if you want. Remember that I said that dashboard is the accumulation of different reports. So you can add to an existing dashboard if you want. You just need to search for the dashboard you currently have, and you can add to that dashboard, or you can add to a new dashboard if you want. When you click on next, it is going to ask you for the dashboard name, and we're going to say this is a sales dashboard. And you can decide to allow everyone to view and edit, or you can also allow limits, or you can limit to some specific people to view and edit this particular report. So you click on save and add. That is going to save your report, and you can be able to use this report inside of your HubSpot account. You can save as new reports if you want, or you can update existing reports if you want. So if I go back to exist, I can be able to see my new reports inside of this place, and I can be able to do all of this action for my reports. You can also click on new reports, and you can be able to create reports with AI. You can use whatever it is you want for your reports. So we are going to create dashboard now, and we are going to be creating dashboards for sales. Remember that I said that dashboard is the accumulation of different reports that you've created. So you can be able to see the different templates of dashboard that they have. They actually have a lot. They have a lot of dashboards that you can be able to pick from, and you can also create another one from scratch if you want. Just add the name and the tag, but I'm going to be using a template for this tutorial, and I'm going to be creating a dashboard for my sales, and you can be able to see whatever is going on inside of my report over here. When I click on next, I can be able to add this. I can be able to add this name, and I can say this is for sales team, and I can be able to add a tag if I have that. I can also allow everyone to view and edit, and I click on create dashboard. This is going to help me create my dashboard, and I can go to my dashboard in here. I can see all of the things that are currently on this dashboard. So for the first thing we are saying is the team activity by activity days, and this is all of the activity that needs to be done or that has been done in the last 30 days. You can also decide to use this filter to filter based on different metric. You can check for the last 30 days, you can check for the last 60 days, you can check for whatever it is you want. And if you also want to check in for the next report, you can also see the number of report that has been created, the contact that has been worked. You can see the number of deals that have been closed. If you want to also filter based on anything, you can filter based on the activity days, you can filter based on create dates instead of activity days. You can use close dates, you can use create dates. You can use whatever it is you want. You can check in for the last 30 days, for the last 60 days, whatever it is you want to use in your organization, and you click on save and update existing reports, and that is going to update that. You can also see over here that we have the deal versus the total inside of this report. Inside of this place, we are comparing for our deal, the deal total to the goal. If you've set a goal inside of your organization, you can be able to measure based on how you're achieving that goal. So we can say that you want to check for the entire year, and you want to use the close date or the create date, whatever it is you want to use for this report. You can also set in the date, and you can use the deal progress if you want to use the deal progress. Okay, so I'm changing this filter, and I'm saying that if the closed one is true, and we're not going to be using any pipeline, we're just going to be saying if the closed one is true. So we can also use the goal filter, and we can say if the goal, this filter, we can remove it if you want. So I'm just going to edit this. I'm going to remove this filter. I want to just measure based on my goals, and because I'm checking for all of the pipeline, I can see the number of goals that I have. You can see in here that the sum of our deals is $250,000, and we can also see the goal targets that we have. Okay, so you can now be able to see the amount of your deals versus the goals you currently have inside of your organization. And if you click on cancel here, you can see the next one where you can be able to see the team activity report. You can also be able to add another report to this dashboard. And to add reports, you are just going to click on add content here, and you can click on add reports, and you can be able to select from whatever report you have created. This is our open deal report. So I'm just going to bring this report in. So to bring this report in, I'm just going to drag this. I'm going to just drag and drop. So we're going to drag this, and we're going to drop this inside of this place, and we can be able to see that in. If you want to bring multiple reports, all you need to do is just to look for the report you want to insert in, and you can be able to bring the report inside of this place. So if you want to drag and drop also, you can do the same thing inside of this place. And if you want to bring another another report in, you also drag and drop for this place. So that is how to create reports using AI, and also create dashboard using the reports you've created also. When you are done with all of this, you can see that the report is going to be updated. You can use advanced filter if you want. You can also use quick filters if you want. You can create a new dashboard if you want, and you can start all over by creating another dashboard. Okay, so our sales team report has been, dashboard has been created. If I want to share this, I can copy the URL, and when I copy the URL, I can be able to share this URL to external users. Maybe you are having a board meeting and you want to be able to share this URL with people outside of the organization. You can also do that. You can use you can email this dashboard maybe to your board of directors, or you want to email the dashboard to the CEO or to the manager, or whoever you want to email this dashboard to. So that is how to create dashboard and reporting inside of your HubSpot account. Okay, so that is the end of the advanced series for HubSpot. Also, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, and also like this video, and also share with everyone who you think is going to need this video. And also, if you need help in configuring everything we just discussed in this advanced tutorial, you can book your free discovery call. The link is in the description below, and we're going to take a look at your business, and we're going to help you set up HubSpot to the maximum level for your business. And also, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, and also like this video, and also share with everyone who you think is going to need this video. Do not forget to download your CRM framework guide. The link is in the description below. Also, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, and also like this video, and also share with everyone who you think is going to need this video. Thank you so much. I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.